this going. Yo, what's good, people? Let's like not make this quiet. Yo. All right, yeah, that red's not gonna work. Okay, nope. Yo, is that too loud? We'll have to see. I can't really hear myself. Oh, I can hear myself now. I think it's okay. I think we're fine. Okay. While people are getting in here, turn this down a little bit. While people are getting in here, let's put some music on real quick. Oh, I can't do the music today because I do copyright free. I don't know, copyright free. Sonic, no copyright music. If I bust that though, we're pretty much screwed. Let's see. Yo, okay. Oh, I can hear myself now. Holy shit. Okay. Live at 2:25 a.m. It's 12 over here. I have to knock out the video, so some people probably are gonna miss it just because it's so late. But it is what it is. It's gotta get done. It's gotta get done. Can you guys hear me like this? Nah, that sucks. I just don't want it in the camera. Can you guys hear me like this? Does this sound weird? I think I'm okay. Damn, that's just loud, bro. There we go. Okay, we're good. It's 9 a.m. Okay. A little closer. Yeah, I'm trying to do it where I can get out the camera, but it's just a fold, I guess. This is not too bad. It's not too bad. Okay. We can actually just... Okay, now we're good. Mic was better. Okay, so today we're doing a tier list. Man, we gotta turn this down. Same music as usual. Let's do tier list maker, right? We're doing an exercise tier list, right? I'm good. I think this is okay, right? Hi from Hong Kong. Hey, everyone, if you guys want to drop some questions, it's really late, so it's gonna be just a couple people in here. You can drop questions you want, but we're gonna make a tier list for the best exercises for explosiveness. I don't like talking about exercises for explosiveness, but exercise athlete exercise tier list. All right, but exercises have their own purpose. All right, every exercise has its own purpose, and sometimes you won't see me do 1,000 exercises for explosiveness. Sometimes it'll be a mix of everything. Right, this is for raw explosiveness. All right, exercise tier list for explosive. Oh wow, explosiveness. And people are gonna make fun of my grammar, so we'll just do that, right? Do I have to put something like here? I don't know, just like sports, NBA, something like that. I don't know. Sports. Okay, I should have done Sonic. I don't have anything. Can I just start? S tier? Let's do S plus. Can we do it S plus? Show extra rows. S plus. And we need an F tier as well. F. All right, we should be able to like label those around. You must be logged in to create a new template. God damn. Okay. Sorry, you guys dropping questions. Let me see what's happening right here. If you guys can drop questions while I'm starting up this tier list, spam me with questions. And we can get going. All right, I'm going to get this stuff rolling in a little bit while I set up this tier list. Drop anything. Did I make an account? Am I good? Let's do it. Am I logged in? Oh, no. Make your own template. Okay. Exercise tier. Oh, my God. Tier list for... no, explosiveness. All right. I don't fucking care. Sports, bruh. Sports. Okay, cool. Description, I don't care. Let me just start. You must at least upload 5 images. What do you mean? Minimum of 5 images to make a template? Oh, we need the images for exercises. Okay, everyone, you're working with me here, okay? Everyone drop 3 exercises. If you're in the chat, drop 3 exercises. There's 15 people in here. I should see 30 plus exercises. 45 plus exercises. Everyone drop 3. Max velocity, no, we're gonna do raw explosiveness today, all right? We'll do acceleration one day. We'll do max velocity another day. We'll do vertical jump another day, deceleration, change direction. We're gonna make a bunch of tier lists, but everyone drop 3 exercises for raw. Just think about it, raw explosiveness. I have a couple in my head, but I have to look them up. So I need just a bunch of ideas. I just need a bunch of ideas all at once. So I'm about to make 1,000 tabs. We're gonna do squat. We're gonna do deep squat, half squat, half squat, quarter squat, def jump, single leg def jump, med ball def jump, broad jump, triple broad jump, single leg broad jump. Cool. I don't want to do too many strength exercises. Pogos, Bulgarian split squats, box jump. Okay, box jumps. Thank you, because I have some hot tops on that. Box jumps. The reason why I'm searching all these up is because I'm going to grab photos from the images tab. So just keep dropping. Single leg broad jumps, box jumps, weighted standing jumps. Yeah, let's do that. Weighted repeat jumps. What else we got? Pogos, hip thrust. I'm going to stay away from like the generic general strength exercises. But I mean, why not? Because hip thrust is pretty important, I guess. Hip thrust. Okay, pogos. Okay, bounds, single leg bounds, progressive bounds. This is gonna be important. Okay, 40-yard sprints, timed sprints, resisted sprints, assisted sprints, tib raises. Lunges. Oh my god, what else do I program? Calf raises, single leg calf raises. This is gonna take like 20 minutes, all right, people. You're just gonna have to like, you could drop questions, but like work with me here, right? You just, oh my god, y'all are snapping. Power clean, hand clean. You know, let's be more efficient here, because I need to be able to see the chat. Okay, here we go. Now we're chatting. Now we're good. Okay. Single leg RDL, hill sprints. I think I did resisted sprints, but we could do hill sprints as like an alternative. Max effort jumps. Okay, yeah, max effort jumps. We'll leave it like that. Dunk attempts. Low rim dunks. Fuck me, I'm clicking the wrong buttons. Oh yeah, we're spamming. Power cleans. Let's do power cleans, because I have some stuff to say about that. Hang cleans. I don't want to do too much strength work. There's gonna be a lot more plyometrics in this. Stair jumps. That's a great one. Oh my god, you guys are spitting right now. You guys are spitting. I did isometrics because I'm gonna do lunges. So that's gonna be deadlift. Okay, we can do deadlift, and I'm not gonna do any more strength exercises. I think that's most of it, except for a trap bar high pull. Trap bar high pull. Drop jumps, stair jumps, power cleans, Nordics. That's a good one. Nordics, best overall bodyweight plyo. We'll get to that because we're doing a tier list today, so we're gonna get to that. Triple broad jump. I think I did that already, but yeah, I already did that. But we just keep it just into push up. No, we're doing lower body, only lower body right now. So like plyometrics, jump variations, sprint variations, bounding. We have bounding, broad jumps. Extensive skips, jump rope, karaoke, lateral sprints, because we're talking about raw explosiveness, reaction agility. agility, 5v5 basketball, 5v5 basketball. Actually, just 5v5 basketball. Yeah, just 5v5 basketball. What about someone for change directions? That's what I'm starting to like. Someone's starting to click for me right now. Lateral bounds, lateral knee dominant jumps. Oh man, I'm running out of tab space. Okay. The image of the live. What's the image? Fuck. Do I look crazy right now? What's the image? Fuck. Oh shit. Good idea for a second. Okay. Anything from the Just Protect program. I'm trying to think. That's the thing though. Just Protect is really focused on like injury prevention, so I wouldn't have a lot of like stuff where that would help. Band resisted jumps. Band resisted jumps, because I think I have regular resisted jumps, but band resisted is completely different. It's a whole different exercise. Skips for height. Skips for height. I already have extensive skips and backward sprint. Oh, we can do backward sprints. Backward sprints. Actually, let's start talking about knees over toes guy. So KOT squat. I already did tib raises. KOT. What else does he do? He does that fucking like that hyper extension with the barbell, right? Hip flexor training. Let's do hip flexor. Hip flexor raises. Knee to squat. Yeah, we could do goblet squat. Or no, we did deep squat already. So I don't know, because that's more for injury prevention. I could talk about that, but it's just like, I don't know. Sprints to skips for distance. Actually, we'll do sprints to bounds. I did low rim dunks. There's so many exercises I can do, but I'm trying to be a little more precise. Hip extensors. A lot of that's from plyometrics. What else? What's some like hot shit that people love to do? I already done top tib raises. Everyone thinks those are like S+ tier. Fuck. Lateral movements. I put in a lot of lateral movements just recently. It's like kind of like the second half right here. Broad jumps got broad jumps. Step up jumps. Okay. Yeah, step up jumps. Okay, what's some strength moves I might be forgetting about? I didn't want to do too many, but let's just think for a second. Is there anything? We got RDLs, we got deadlifts, we got all the squat variations I think are important. Skaters, I have lateral bounds, which same thing as skaters. Resisted bounds, I'd put in like B tier. I do them sometimes, but A skip. I did that for the extensive stuff, extensive skips, which I'll talk about A skips. Fast switches, you know what? There we go. Ladder drills. Fast feet. Whatever, fast feet drills. That's a good one to talk about. B skip, all that stuff is the same stuff. It's all the same thing. Any type of skips are all giving you like the same movements. Wickets for raw explosiveness, that's more of like a max velocity thing. Like I would do that on a max velocity day. Actually, yeah, okay, this is good. Plyomorph? No, we're not talking plyomorph. Oh God. Okay, let's start getting images. It's gonna take a hot ass second, but you guys can ask questions while I'm getting all these images. Okay, go ahead. Just pop questions. I don't need exercises anymore. One leg jumps where you move horizontally. Oh, I don't know. I can't think. Go look plyomorph. Wickets with fast feet. Oh no, we have fast feet. Like ladder drills, yeah, we got those for sure. I'm just downloading all of these right now, so you guys can just ask questions. Is my door closed? My door is not closed. 1 second. Okay. Did I just download the core squat? Go look at plyomorph if you want injuries. No, that's a fact. Okay. Depth jumps. Oh, I forgot about drop jumps. Here, let's just do that real quick. Drop jumps are really important. should call them lava jumps. Lava jumps would be a better exercise. It's kind of hard to differentiate what is a drop jump versus a def jump, so I'm gonna have to explain that. But probably more fun to hop on his burner soon. Man, literally all the people I hate on, they could hop on burners. I'll meet them in person. We could talk about how dumb they are. Like, I am perfectly okay with that. There's someone where I like call them out and then they're like going crazy, like blowing up my DMs and making posts about me on Instagram. And then I told him, I was like, I'll pay you to come to me and we can like have a discussion. And then he stopped talking to me. That's like fight. I mean, we could do that, but just like, hey man, you want to talk stuff? It's Instagram, bro. Like, let's have a debate on podcasts. Like on a podcast, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it for real. You know? Or would I get a lot? What I used to get a lot was a lot of people just thought I wasn't like athletic, right? Everyone's like, you know, I make posts and like, well, you don't know anything, and then they would like blow me up, whether we get in like some type of conversation, some type of argument, and I was always like, dude, like, this is the gym I go to. You don't believe I can dunk, or you don't believe I can run this fast, whatever, like, come see me. Like, come to the gym, play me in basketball. Like, I'm perfectly okay with that. But that was old me. That's when I was like a little more childish. I won't lie. Like 2 years ago when I first started doing social media, you know, I was a little childish. And for anyone who kind of like just knows anything about me when I first started, it's a little childish. Med ball throws, you missed it? Oh, I did miss it. You are correct. Med ball throws. I did box drop med ball throws, so that's probably why I forgot. This isn't what a med ball throw actually is. This is like more of like a chest throw, but I'll just say med ball throws. You can drop some questions, by the way. Shock pause jumps. I was thinking about that, but I would never program it, so I don't even really want to talk about it. I'm 44. Okay. Fire. Okay. Do regular hip thrusts. Pogos. What the fuck? Oh shit. I'm gonna get demonetized. That's two different things, right? I'm not sure what I was talking about. Med ball slams. Oh, we could talk about med ball slams. Those are fucking trash. But I just spoiled it. Whatever. Bounds. Sprinting. There we go. This will do. Actually, this is a much better representation of what a real bound is. Oh, I'm 44 minutes in his live. Nani? Single leg bounds. These are really interesting. I like talking about single leg bounds. Fast arm pumps. Oh my god, dude. I'm so glad you said that. Fast arm pumps. Man, because I need some F tiers. That's all I'm going to say. Fast arm sprints. I'm trying to think of like a no, standing fast arms. I heard someone call it that before. No, you know what, running in place. I can explain it with that type of photo. Yeah, hopefully I remembered that I was talking about fast arms, running in place. All right, because I don't know what people would call it. I can't think right now. Skater hops? I have skater hops already. Oh, shit. I'm going to have to remember progressive bounds because there's not like an exercise. So like it's kind of hard to differentiate what's the difference. Lateral lunge? I don't want to do lateral lunge personally. There's a 40-yard dash. If I forget, someone please remind me. This means 40-yard dash. I'm actually going to use this photo right here. Wait, no, where's that photo? Jumping scissor lunges? Nah, we're good. That's the same thing as skater hops, just lateral bounds. I want to use this photo right here. Bro, it won't let me use the photo. Okay, whatever. This will work. Time sprints. A clock. Nordic hamstrings? Yeah, we have Nordic hamstrings. 10 flies. It's just a very like It's just heavy on like max velocity. Like it's good for raw explosiveness, I guess. We could do that. Because I am doing assisted sprints, so I could do, yeah. Yeah, I'll do max flies. Thanks for reminding me. On a max velocity day, I'll differentiate like the different types of flies and like which one's better type shit. Type shit. I don't know about y'all, but I went from 5.0 to 4.7 doing Nordics early. I'm sorry, but that's physically impossible. You did something besides just waking up and doing Nordics to failure. I promise. I know it might feel like you didn't, but if you look at the whole program, you did something else besides just that. It's impossible to run faster. Zero dash now. I'll do this as an isometric lunge hold instead of a regular lunge. But yeah, like you didn't just like wake up, go to the weight room, and do Nordic curls, and then you just ran faster. Like you definitely did sprint training on top of that, and the sprint training is the reason why you got faster. What's good, bro? Now what's good with you? What's good? Single leg and hang clings. Yeah, that's the explosive exercise. You definitely sprinted too. Hang clings, you did, a hinge variation, then a snatch. I'll say the same thing for a power clean. We'll talk about snatch in there. No, I never did sprint training. I played soccer. So did you play soccer? I did low rim dunks. Did you play soccer? Because soccer is sprinting. You run a lot. So trust me, I promise. It's not the Nordics. I promise, bro. I've been doing this for too long. I promise it's not the Nordics. Could be the hang cleans could have definitely helped a little bit. Power snatch, yeah, no. I'm not gonna do the power snatch because I'm talking about power cleans and hang cleans, and I'll talk about Olympic lifts in general. So I have both of those. Max effort jumps, no. Let's do This is no, because I might say box jumps on accident if I forget. I need something. High jumps. We'll do this. I'll remember this as max effort jumps because I also have a dunk. Well, it counts, I guess, if I did. Yeah, no, soccer is definitely sprinting. There's a lot of high-intensity sprints. Since I just got here, I don't know if you have these, but squats, lunges, trap bar deadlift. Oh, refest. No, I didn't have that. You're clutch. I won't lie. So, resistance sprints, yes. We'll do the single leg squat, which is refest. I appreciate it. Right here. Perfect. Thank you. I appreciate you, my boy. Nordic can help. So Nordics, the purpose of Nordics, especially the eccentric, is I'm obviously going to talk about it, but the purpose of Nordics is for injury prevention, right? So an eccentric is lengthening the hamstring. Hold up, sorry, I have a lot of things in my brain right now. The eccentric is lengthening the hamstring, which causes muscle damage. So the only purpose of that, especially when it's a slow eccentric, is to build muscle, and muscle is armor for the body. So I'm explaining it in a very basic way because I don't want to go too deep, but pretty much if you're building muscle and you're building armor for the body, there's no stimulus for speed. It's too slow, right? It's like what you're doing, like 5-second Nordic holds, like you're trying to go as slowly as possible until your chest hits the ground. Like if you're doing like a full one, like Tyreek Hill type of ones, like there's not a stimulus for speed. There's no 0.2, 0.1 stimulus, no elastic energy being used. So I think that's like the best way for me to explain it, like in very basic terms. The concentric is the same thing too, because if you do a full concentric Nordic curl, you're just popping off from the bottom. Like, yeah, you're helping with concentric power from the hamstring, but when you sprint, you're not using your hamstrings. Your hamstrings handle eccentric forces. So like think about snapping your leg down, right? Like you're in that gait cycle and your leg comes like a B skip. It's snapping down is an eccentric stimulus or eccentric forces, right, in like 0.1 seconds to your hamstrings, and then you're pushing off from your calf and your glute. You still use your hamstrings, but the contraction, the force isn't being coming from the hamstrings. So like the hamstrings are literally just to prevent injury and to help fix mechanics. Wait, what is this? Oh, we'll do the trap bar deadlift. I don't want to talk about barbell deadlift. Barbell deadlift's like C tier. Trap bar is like higher than C tier. We'll talk about that. Trap bar high pull. Okay. Where are we at? Bleach, concentric. Talk about ankle hops. I'll talk about that during the skips. Nordic hamstring. There you go. This will work. Power cleans, quarter squats, box jumps. Got all of those. Thank you. This is going to be height. I hope so. This is going to be different. No one's ever done this. Like, I'm literally changing the game. That's why I didn't want to talk about it too much. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I've avoided talking about this until like the day of. Because I think I'm actually like, if I do the thumbnail and title right and I don't fuck up the thumbnail and title, this video is going to pop. No one's ever done this. Like, this is like innovative in my opinion. And then especially all the other ones we have. So like we have like ones for raw explosiveness. Then we have one for vertical jump. We're not going to do all of them today. We have one for max velocity sprinting, acceleration, change of direction, deceleration, injury prevention, strength. Like, no one's ever done those. Who's done tier lists on all those topics? It's only going to be me. So I'm changing the game, bro. It's not that complicated either. I don't know why no one's done it, but also there's not a lot of like athletic coaches doing live streams and shit like that, you know? Lunge, jump, air, and a switch. I'll make sure to do that. I'll make sure air switch jumps or some shit like that. I don't know if I know like the name for that though. Lunge, jumps, air, and a switch. I'm trying to think. I'll remember as this, like switch jumps. I actually kind of want to talk about lunge jumps in general, so that's not bad. It's actually kind of a good idea, I won't lie. Lateral start sprint. Okay, cool. For raw explosiveness, reaction agility. I don't know what type of photo I can use for reaction agility because there's a lot of different types of ones too on top of that. You know what? Reaction tag. There we go. I could just say tag. I don't know why I'm saying reaction tag. 5v5 basketball. Let's see. Hip flexor, adductors and machines. That's F tier. Band assisted jumps. Okay. Yeah, we could do that. Lateral bound. These are your skater jumps, by the way. That some people, I've seen skater jumps a lot. Hurdle jumps for sure. Hurdle hops is what I call them, but whatever. Band assisted jumps. You're right. I think maybe I did that, but I don't know. Burpees, F tier. Don't even put them in there. Lateral knee dominant jumps. Wait, that's the same thing as lateral bounds. What am I doing? I'm tired. Band resisted jumps. This is gonna be a good one. Burpees, no, I'm not doing burpees. That's just F tier. Skips for height. Is 7'6" broad jump good for or bad for 5'11"? It's hard to tell. I don't know. I haven't really measured broad jumps with my athletes recently, but I used to have like a good understanding, like what was good numbers. I just know we need to train it consistently. I just don't like, sometimes I like remembering and like putting down strength numbers for everyone, right? Like you need to hit this standard. But then like when I get into those, like, oh, we need to hit those standards, then I remember like everyone's different. You know, like it really, like, I know that's like a boring answer, but like literally everyone's different. Right? So it's weird. Like some people, we know some reasons why. Like some people can squat 500 pounds and can't touch a rim. Some people can squat 135 and can touch and can dunk it with the windmill. That's just like one case of like everyone's different, you know? Yeah, if the NFL record is 12'3", you definitely at least need 9 foot. I'd probably say 9'5". 10 feet is really what you want to get, but I don't want to like go into that whole rabbit hole. Ooh, this one right here, man. I got some shit to say about this exercise right here. Most NFL guys get around 10 feet. I'd say like a good goal is 10.5. Like my fastest guys can do 10.5. I haven't really had someone who could do 11 though, but I've had guys who could run like crazy 10-yard dashes, like their first 10. But yeah, I forgot the exact like percentage, but like broad jump correlation to 10-yard sprints. I spelled correlation wrong, but Yeah, there's like a huge correlation to like what your broad jump is and what your actual 10-yard sprint time is. It's like almost identical, which is why they test the broad jump. I don't know how to navigate this right here. I'm trying to find a graph. And what exactly broad jumps improve? Acceleration? Yeah, short acceleration. So there's different types of acceleration. There's early acceleration and late acceleration. Early acceleration is like 0 steps, which is the impulse, so how fast you react and contract your muscles to the first 5 yards. Late acceleration is from 5 yards to about like 20 to 25 yards. It depends on the person. Sometimes it's 15, but like for average athletes, about 25 yards, right? I can't find the graph. Either way, it's just like a huge correlation to like broad jump and your 10-yard sprints. So if you have a shitty broad jump, you probably need to do more resisted sprints or resisted broad jumps. And triple broad jumps. But we have those. We're going to talk about those today. My broad jump is terrible. My short acceleration is fast. Would broad jumps be something to focus on? Well, you have to like figure out what fast is, right? Because if you want to know what fast is, you should really look up what like I'll show you what fast is. If you're actually timing yourself, because if you're just racing people at your high school and you're beating them bad, like they're probably just fucking ass, right? But if you actually look at like what Olympic times are in terms of 10-yard or 10-meter dashes, you'd be surprised. 10-meter world record. Like let's just look at Usain Bolt, who we know is a good start, but obviously not the fastest start of all time. First 10 yards or 10 meters is 1.8, 1.8, 1.8, 1.8, 1.8, right? So let's just use it as a baseline, right? That's just to get down to the sub 10s. I doubt most people are going 1.8. So if you're not going at least 2.0, I wouldn't like just label it fast. Like you probably still need resisted sprints and resisted broad jumps. Ladder drills. What about the Chinese guy? Oh, Sun Tian? Yeah. He actually might be 1.6, bro. Like 10, actually 100 meter splits. I spelled it wrong. Everyone just release. I'm sorry. 100 meter splits. Here we go. 1.8 for Ben Johnson. Carl Lewis, 1.8. Leroy Burrell, 1.8. Dennis Mitchell, 1.8. So these are all guys running sub 10s pretty much. 1.7, 1.78, 1.73, 1.7. So yeah, that's like peak. Like that's what you guys want to reach for, right? But I say like high school or like college, you need to go like 1.9, 2.0. Fast feet exercises. Okay, now we got all the exercises. So time for the tedious part. Okay, how are we going to do this? Date added. This is most recent, right? Oh, luckily I deleted everything, so this actually kind of works. We'll go from, okay. We're just going to be doing this. Wait, is it only doing one at a time? You're trolling. How do I add multiple exercises at once then? Upload a set of 5 images. 1, 2. Why does it keep doing that? Select all your files at once. Can I do this? Oh my God, that dude. Oh my God. I was about to be like, bro, we're going to sit here for another 20 minutes while I just click away, but we're ready to go. We're ready to go. Can you long click and drag them? Yeah, no. That's clutch. That's clutch. Exercise tier. Oh my God. I can't type or think today. You're all have to be patient with me. Tier list for let's do raw explosiveness. Select category. Okay. I wish I could type the category. You think max speed should be my focus? Here, my FAT laser spritz, 10 yard, 1.54. Okay, without reaction. 2.6. I need to see your 10 yard fly. Like, I can do the breakdowns, but I just don't feel like doing math right now. Overall, though, your 20 to 30 is a 1.02. which is actually pretty solid. You should get that down to like probably like 0.95. Should is as in like work towards it, you know, like aim for that. Okay, let's do some extra rows real quick. We'll do S plus and F tier. Hopefully I can move that around later. Let's see. Yo, what's good? We just finished adding all the exercises. Okay, cool. Now let's move this up. Move this up. Move this up. Boop. And the F tier is already at the bottom. Okay. Are we good? Like, can you guys see everything? Am I too big? I need to move my thing, don't I? Bottom right. If I move my thing to the bottom right, will that work? Can some people give me like yes, no? If I move myself to the bottom right, or should I do top right? I should probably do top right, like this, and then go top right. Yep. Let's do top right. Okay. Cool. Are we good? Let me get a pop-up chat. I need to turn off the top right. The GOAT. You're the GOAT. Let's turn off the music because they just want to keep copyrighting me. Let's do a pop-up chat real quick because it's gonna be really hard for me to see you. Okay. Concurrent viewers 20. I'm fine with that. Pop-up chat. No. There we go. Okay, close. Boop. Okay. Here. Cool. We're in top right. Can we get a real small pop-up chat? Bruh. Oh my god. It's not even connected for some reason. So I just think it's gonna be a fold. Okay. Are you guys okay if I don't check chat while I do this and I talk? I'm gonna be explaining everything, but probably not gonna be checking chat because it's gonna be for a video. I always could just edit it out honestly to check chat. But if you guys are cool with it, because I'm gonna be talking the whole time. It's not like I'm just gonna be sitting here like just clicking away, not explaining myself. Let me know if you guys are cool with that. Because also no music, so I know it might be a little boring. If not, I can get a chat. Some type of chat, but it also kind of would look a little messy. Go off. Okay. Yeah, but open it sometimes. Yeah, I'll check it like every couple minutes. Like every like 3 to 5 minutes. Is my microphone okay? Or is it too quiet? Because I can make it louder real quick before I start. You're good? Bro, I want to debate with you. Yeah, this is going to be a tier list and no opinions matter to me. I'm not going to lie. Respectfully. No opinions are going to matter to me. I'm going to put tip raises in a very interesting spot, and I'm going to get a lot of hate, and I don't care. I'm trying to think, is there any other exercises I'm forgetting? It's too late to add them now, so we're just going to roll with it. Okay, cool. I appreciate it. Because there's also going to be one, like this is for raw explosiveness, all right? This is not for like general athleticism. If we're talking about general athleticism, like I would have like deep squats and like S plus tier because like you need to stay healthy, right? But we'll talk about it. I'll explain it. Okay. I just want to see. Am I too big? Am I too big? Am I covering too much? Someone just like let me know. Am I covering too much? I'll sit here for a little bit so we can see. Or is that a good size? Wait, what's the difference? I'll explain it. Because if we're talking about like, no, so I'm good. Forearm curls are S plus tier for top swing. Looks out okay. Yeah, we're just covering like this portion, right? So not a big deal. Okay. This video is going to be a tier list for raw explosiveness. So it's going to be about 58 to 60 exercises. Exercises I think are good or meant for raw explosiveness or what people think actually develop your explosiveness as an athlete. And I'm going to be saying either F tier, D tier, C tier, S tier. This is not the same as athleticism tier list, all right? If we're going for raw athleticism, durability also matters and health matters, right? If we're doing raw explosiveness, there's gonna be a lot of different exercises that matter, but also if we're talking about general athleticism, some exercises might be too dangerous because of how potent they are in the body, that it's not even worth it in putting in S tier. So for example, a def jump might go in S tier for this tier list, but for like general athleticism, for health, for longevity, that might be in like C tier, right? But for raw explosiveness, it's probably S plus tier. So in a program, or when you're putting together a workout, other aspects matter, and you can't only just go, let's grab the top 10 raw explosiveness exercises, all the ones in S and S plus tier, and think that's going to do something for you. Every exercise has its own purpose within a program and have its own way in this entire aspect of a 3-month or a 4-month block. Okay. Other than that, a lot of boring stuff. Let's just get straight into it. The first one we see right here is lunge jumps. Okay. Oh my God, I'm nervous. Oh my God. Okay, lunge jumps we'll put B tier. Okay. The purpose for lunge jumps is actually if you do it in an extensive way. So if you do lunge jumps for 3 to 5 minutes in a row with the low intensity, so you're not going max effort, but you're going, maybe just like 30% of your max effort or 50% of your max effort jump, you actually can build extensibility in the tendon, the patella tendon, which is something you can't really get a lot. So the reason why this matters is, let's say you're trying to dunk off a 1 foot or a 2 foot jump, or you're a high jumper. When you're sprinting, you're building up momentum. For a dunk, you have to decelerate all that momentum, and a lot of the forces go to the patella tendon. If the patella tendon cannot handle those forces, all the pain is going to go from the knee to the shin. And then once the pain goes to the shin, your leg's going to give out because your shin is not strong enough to handle those forces. It shouldn't be. It's not meant to be that. Your quad should be handling the majority of the forces. So doing extensive plyometrics that are knee dominant are actually really, really important for building that strength in the tendon, so you can bring in more horizontal velocity or horizontal speed into your jumps. So if you want to dunk, these are some things you can do every single day at a very low intensity that will be really, really helpful for your jump. Okay. For sprinting, not so much, but for raw explosiveness, this is pretty decent. B tier, maybe A tier, but it depends on how I go about this whole thing. All right, the next one is calf raises. Oh, man. I kind of want to do C tier. I might do B tier. If we're doing weighted calf raises, I think for raw explosiveness, we'll go C tier. Now, the reason why I say calf raises are C tier for raw explosiveness is because the velocity of the contraction, so how long it takes you to get to the top of your toes, is too slow to transfer over to your sprinting. So the purpose of developing the strength in the calf is to develop a lot of the miniature foots in the muscle, which will help with elasticity and injury prevention, but that's more of a general aspect versus raw explosiveness. So you're going to build strength, and you could do 1,000 calf raises in a day or weighted calf raises, and you will be more durable in the Achilles, more durable in the foot, but you won't see raw explosiveness gains. We'll get into it later, but you'll see more of the raw explosiveness from calf jumps versus calf raises. Okay, so think about heavy strength exercises like a weighted calf raise or multiple reps, 100 reps of a calf raise a day, like you've probably seen from some random YouTuber who said that. Those are more for durability. And when you have more durability, you can train more, which if you can jump more, that's good. But it's not contributing to raw explosiveness. So I'm going to go C tier. I think it's a little bit overrated. I think the single leg calf raise is a lot better, but we'll talk about that later as well. Also, too, with the calf raise, it's really easy to utilize muscles that you don't need to utilize because you're going so heavy. When you go with a single leg calf raise, you can really focus, especially if it's a strict calf raise, which means no momentum at all. You can really utilize all the FSH or FHC muscles or FCH muscles in the foot, which was kind of like the main benefit, right? For developing the fascia and elasticity. Okay, this is, I'm pretty sure, backwards sprinting. For raw explosiveness, we'll go C tier. Backward sprinting is good for, once again, injury prevention. You're getting a lot of load in the patella tendon, so if you're trying to have durable knees, then backward sprints will help with that. And obviously you'll train the quad a little bit, which could be good for like some 2 foot jumping or some quad dominant jumps, but for the most part it's just not fast enough for raw explosiveness aspects, if that makes sense. I could see it being pretty useful for deceleration, because when you decelerate, a lot of the loads go into patella tendon, so you develop kind of explosiveness in that direction. Could be pretty helpful. So actually we'll move it up to B tier. We'll go B tier. Okay. Med ball throws, we're going to go to A tier. Med ball throws is really good for developing power or optimal power in triple extension. This is a chest throw. A med ball throw, what I'm talking about, is when you're holding it without bending your arms and you're kind of scooping it and throwing it up over your head. Not pushing it up. You're throwing it up. Kind of like you would throw up like a hang clean or a power clean, where you're kind of like throwing it up and back. Up and back is a good way to explain it. Yeah. Really good for power through triple extension. You can do a bunch of different variations. You can do pause med ball throws, which is really good for people who are strong but not athletic. You can do reversal med ball throws, where you just stand in place and you try to drop as fast as possible to train the amortization phase and the stress shortening cycle. So reversal med ball throws, I probably would say like low key S tier, but I have a variation of reversal med ball throws that are really good. But for like how most people use med ball throws, we'll do A tier. I think it's really, really good. Now we have our first S tier, bounding. God, talk about bounding forever. Bounding is one of the most foundational exercises for developing raw explosiveness, elasticity, active stiffness in the ankle, tendon elasticity, because you want stiffness in the ankle, but you don't want stiffness in the tendon. Those are two different things. You might hear me talk about that a lot. You want tendon compliance and ankle stiffness. This develops both at the same time. That is almost impossible. An example of something that ruins this is when you're doing strength exercises like a calf raise. Why I say it's a little bit overrated is because you're developing tendon stiffness, which you do not want, and ankle stiffness. You want tendon compliance. You want it to be like a slingshot. You do not want it to be stiff and rigid. So that's where these type of exercises can pair very well with a calf raise. Really good. So it develops max velocity speed. It's going to develop the stiffness and elasticity at the same time. It's kind of like a speed strength movement where you can develop a little bit of power, but also a little bit of max velocity at the same time, just because of the velocity of it. And it's also really good for 1 foot jumps, like high jumping or dunking, because you're teaching your body how to decelerate and propel your body forward and up at the same exact time. Let me take a little pause to check chat. Are we good? Fire? Which sport? We're doing raw explosiveness for all sports. Very general. General. Just general explosiveness. Inch jumps are not going to hinder your growth. No, they won't. Parkour is a def jump. Does that stunt growth? No. Def says hi. Okay. All right. Let's get back into it. Everyone say hi to Reed's Fit. That is the love of my life. Okay. Box jumps. I had to do it, bro. I had to do it. I'm sorry. Actually, it's just going to be so much hate, but oh my God, bro. Okay. Let's explain box jumps. We're going to talk about a topic called stress shielding. All right. Stress shielding is when you're shielding yourself from stress. So when you go to sport, you injure yourself. Think about somebody like Kevin Durant, right? We can look up an example of Kevin Durant right here, where he just randomly tears his Achilles or injures himself. Kevin Durant injury, Phoenix Suns. I spelled Phoenix wrong, so I don't care. I barely know English. Okay. Let's mute this. Look at this right here. This is an example of stress shielding. All right. Yes, he did twist his ankle. Okay. I get that. But when you shield yourself from training on hardwood or training in landing, then when you go to sports, any little micro issue that happens, you're going to tear something. You're going to sprain an ankle. You're going to tear a tendon. You're going to tear your ACL. If you don't prepare your body with landing forces, which is, think of a def jump or dropping off a box, landing forces, or think of you dunk a basketball and you land. If you never prepare your body to land, then you're going to get injured when you have to land. If you do box jumps and you box jump for a year and then you can dunk, and it's your first time dunking and you land from 30 inches in the sky, you're going to tear something. You have to expose your body to these eccentric forces or you're going to get injured. So box jumps, the purpose is, let's just jump and because we're jumping so high, we're jumping, let's say we're jumping a 50-inch box jump, especially like, dude, we're talking about like high box jumps. Those are completely F tier because people are like, okay, I have a 50-inch vertical jump. Because you're landing and all you're doing is driving your knees up. If you can't straight leg the box, that's not your vertical jump. I mean completely straight leg the box. That means it's not your vertical jump. So if you're landing in a deep squat or a half squat, I can name someone who does these all the time, but I'm not going to do it. If you're landing in a deep squat or half squat, that's not your vertical jump. Number one, that's risk of injury because what if you fail it and you fall? And then also you're stress shielding because you're not landing on any type of hardwood, surface, grass. A good replacement for box jumps would be max effort jumps, a dunk. All right, it's the same thing. You're jumping to you're jumping to a destination. A box is a destination. A dunk is a destination. That's the goal. You're jumping to a goal, but instead you're landing and introducing those forces. The only time I'll say box jumps are B tier or C tier is if, let's say, you have knee pain and you want to get in jump volume and practice maybe your technique, but you do not want to land on something. Then I'll say D tier. It has a purpose. It does have a purpose. But for the most part, there's no reason to do it. If anything, it could hurt you in the long run, okay? Especially if you're doing these high jump squats or you're landing in a deep squat. I know the first person to look up, I'm not trying to hit on them. This is an example of like completely F tier, like F minus tier is this shit right here. No hate to him at all. This is F tier. I didn't even have to look at it. First try, bruh. First try. This is F tier. No hate to him at all. I love Adonis, but this is F tier. This is F minus. This is like what's after F, right? This is like completely bullshit. It's terrible for your vertical jump. It's dangerous. You're not getting max intent. It's just not it, right? It's just not it. I'm sorry, I ranted for way too long. Okay, what is this? A power snatch? Okay, power snatch. So this is an Olympic lift variation where you're throwing the barbell up to pretty much above your head, right? You're like literally like throwing it up and landing like this. We'll go C tier, okay? You could do D. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't lie. Actually, I'm gonna go D tier. I think it can be good. Actually, okay, no. Okay, C tier, I think it's good for raw explosiveness. I think the technique is so difficult that for 90% of the population who's not going to spend a month on trying to learn technique, when they also have to learn basketball skills, they need to learn how to shoot, they need to learn how to sprint, they need to learn how to dribble, they need to learn how to dribble a soccer ball, a basketball, learn how to catch a football, spending time in the weight room trying to learn how to power snatch when you could just do a high pull or a loaded jump and get the exact same benefit. It's not worth it. Okay, so and also to get max intent, you have to go very, very high in the weight, right? You need to go, I think in the research, like 90% plus. So when you're going to these super heavy weights, 90% of your 1 rep max, what happens when you get there? Those are injuries, right? I'm gonna say the same thing for power cleans and hang cleans. When you start going to these 90% plus ranges, those are injuries. Guess what we can do without 90% load? We can do loaded jumps with 10% of your body weight and get the exact same effect. You can look it up in the research, is the exact same effect, okay? Overrated. I'll honestly put it in D tier. Trap bar high pull, A tier. A tier. A tier, A tier, A tier. This is a power snatch, a hang clean, a power clean without any need to learn skill. There is no skill. You grab the trap bar, you throw it up. All right. There's no skill, but you get crazy explosiveness gains, crazy power development, crazy development in the glute, in the hamstring, in the calf, all at once with no skill floor, without a skill floor or skill ceiling. There's no skill. You just throw it up. All right. Great for general explosiveness. Completely fire. We'll go half squat, A tier. This is a barbell half squat. So like what I mean by half squat is like heavy half squats. I just couldn't find a good exercise. A good this is a jump angle specific squat. Half squats. These are full defs. So when I say deep squats, I'm talking about these. This is a half squat, right? Box squats, half squats. These are half squats, right? There you go. You understand what I'm trying to say. Half squats, A tier. You're developing explosiveness at a joint angle specific, which is usually probably around 2-foot jump. So people's 2-foot jumps, if you're a power dominant jumper, you're probably going to jump from a half squat position, not parallel, it's a little bit above parallel. So this is actually a terrible photo for this, but really, really important. All right. So you're jumping from a half squat position, a little bit above parallel. And it also is really good for acceleration. All right. Acceleration, you're hitting knee angles very similar to half squat. So A tier, not much to explain there. Hurdle jumps, not S plus, but S. For raw explosiveness, you're developing elasticity, elastic power, elastic strength, your stress shortening cycle, reversal strength. I can just name out 1,000 benefits, especially when you add like a long hurdle jump. So there's different types of hurdle hops, right? You have the short hurdle hops where it's like 4 inches off the ground, and those are really good for max velocity sprinting and quick pop-offs. You're trying to develop more power, then you're going to go high hurdle hops where you have to drive your knee up and, you know, stay on the ground for a little bit longer. The ground contact times are going to be like 0.2 to 0.4 versus like short hops are going to be like 0.1 to 0.2, right? These are really good. I say short hurdle hops are S tier, high hurdle hops are A tier. There you go. For raw explosiveness. Band assisted jumps will go B tier. Really good for beginners. If you don't know how to produce force, and maybe you're really strong, you just don't understand how to produce force, there's another type of exercise that's better than this, but I think this is really good for beginners. If you have knee pain, this is really good. For raw explosiveness, some people are like, oh my God, it develops sprint speed and it develops like raw vertical jump. I wouldn't say that. It's more about like tendon tolerance, general elasticity, rate of force development to a sense, but because you're deloading your body, you're not really like producing force at a fast rate. You're just producing less force because your body weight's lighter, you know? So it's like, it can get a little tricky with how we word things, but I would pass on that. So I'd say B tier. I used to think it was S tier, but I've changed my mind on that in the most recent future. These are what, skips for height? Skips for height will go B tier. Really good for developing raw 1 foot explosiveness. Good for high jumpers, for sprinters, you know, max velocity. What's cool about this is that you can access the early stance. Early stance is when your shin is vertical or negative. So think about acceleration, your shin is forward, and then vertical 1 foot jumps and max velocity sprinting is vertical, right? So instead of forward, it shifts vertical. This develops those aspects, right? That early stance, force absorption when your heel hits the ground, and then when you're producing force, your heel's still, not your heel's extending, and then your shin is still vertical, right? So you're developing like those general aspects to be able to handle those forces in those angles with drills like these. I didn't explain that well. I'm very sorry. I'm just all over the place right now. What are these? Step-up jumps? Okay. This is a hard one. I kind of want to go D tier, but they're very similar to lunge jumps. Actually, I kind of want to switch these. Okay. Step-up jumps are really good for developing. How do I want to talk about this? Step-up jumps are very good for developing tendon strength in the patellar tendon, kind of like what we talked about for the lunge jump. I think what people usually use it for like 1 foot bounce and sprint speed, that aspect, what people think step up jumps, really bad, especially when you do high step up jumps. So if the step up jump makes your leg go parallel like this, I don't know if you could tell, her leg's almost parallel at the bottom position, which it is parallel. It's too high, right? When it's too high, it's like low key F tier. When it's very short, let's say like 8 to 12 inches off the ground, I can put it at B tier, but most people are doing it like at a height that's way too high. The box is just way too high. At that point, it's just a muscle exercise where you're just developing the glutes, and even if you're jumping off of it, because you have such little range of motion to work with and produce force from, and the first half is so awkward because it's so slow, it's just not a power exercise. It doesn't really develop anything. It's just like a fast strength exercise. It's like the best way I can explain it. It's honestly just bullshit. I don't know. Quarter squats, we'll go S tier. I don't really have a reason to explain this. It's like Ben Johnson, Carl Lewis, all the top sprinters of all time do quarter squats. Joint angle specific to max velocity sprinting, 2 foot jumps for elastic dominant jumpers. You're overloading the angle, so you can't do quarter squats and do fucking 135 pounds. You need to go like 20% above your own rep max. Oh, same thing for half squats. Half squats, actually I'm putting an S tier because velocity half squats are very potent. Sorry, I'm jumping all over the place. Velocity half squats are very potent. So regular half squats are good. They're A tier. But when you put up speed to it and you do 40 to 60% of your 1 rep max, it's a very potent exercise for vertical jump and sprint speed and just general power. Quarter squats are the same thing, but this time instead of going light, you want to go heavy. You want to go very heavy. 20% above your 1 rep max. Some people might say 10. Some people might say 30. Just do 20. All right, 10. Just do 10 or 10 to 20. Really, really good for developing strength in those joint angle specifics. Getting used to loads that you might not be able to squat. Like for me, I'm doing quarter squats with almost 500 pounds, right? I can't squat that. I can't deep squat that at all. But it even makes me squatting 400 pounds even lighter, right? So there's so many benefits, strength benefits, general explosiveness, all that, right? Drop jump, we're going to go S tier. S plus. A drop jump is when you drop off a box and you pop off the ground fast, but you're still jumping high, right? So the floor is lava and you're being as reactive as possible. It's going to develop reactive strength, which is one of the most important things for your sprint speed and your raw explosiveness. Actually, we might put bounds in S plus as well for the exact same reason. Bounds is S plus, and we're going to put this in S. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Bounding is definitely S plus, and this is they do the same thing, but the reason why bounds are better is because there's horizontal velocity, which means you have to decelerate, which absorb force at a much faster and harsher rate. It's much harsher on the body, so I wouldn't just spam these all the time, but they're definitely really, really potent. And drop jumps are also very potent. They also develop the central nervous system in a very good way that a lot of people need those benefits. Reactive strength, good for 1 foot bounce, max velocity sprinting. Let's take a break. Check chat. Okay. All the 31 viewers talk. Yeah, like everyone in here, hey, how core squats look. I made the live. Yeah. Why is nobody talking? I mean, you guys can't see the chat, so I understand why people aren't talking. Kind of just like watching me explain. I understand. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to go back. I could put the chat up, but it's not going to look that clean. You want me to put the chat up? I could put the chat up. I just need some yeses or nos. Chat or no chat. I could try to put it up. W tier list, I appreciate it. Let me know, chat or no chat. I remember you from Plainfield East. What's your name? Yes, chat. I could put chat up. It's fire. No, chat. Yes. Okay, let's take a quick intermission. Chat. There will be a way to save this tier list afterwards. Yes, I'm gonna put a screenshot, and then let's do chat real quick. I don't want you guys to see this. Let's do chat. Did you say 80% of body weight? No. So for quarter squats, you want to do 20% above your 1 rep max. So if you squat, I don't really have a good example right now. I'm trying to think. Let's say you squat 365, you should be doing 405 for a quarter squat, right? How do I get chat up here? Pop-up chat. Okay. Hold up. I'm putting chat real quick. I'm putting chat. Give me a second. Once I get this chat going, then we can keep going. Because I think people want to talk. Browser source. 1 second. Once I add chat, we can get right back into it. I'm sorry. Forgive me. Okay. That should be good. Then we'll do blend filtering, lighten. Oh, shit. We might not be able to do chat. Darken. How's this look? Nah, I can't do chat. Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't do chat, people. It's giving me some issues. I don't know why pop-up chat won't do what it usually does. So I'm going to have to pass on the chat. We are good listeners. Yeah, just listen. I'm sorry. I am very sorry. We're going to have to pass on the chat. I'm sorry for wasting time. I'll just answer some questions real quick. Did you say 80% quarter squats? No, do 20% above your 1 rep max. Have you seen John Morant tire workout? Add that in the list. Those are stair jumps. I'm going to talk about stair jumps. Those are like regular stair jumps where you're like stair hopping. I'll talk about that though. And then in your opinion, during the offseason, should I be focusing on developing max strength? No. You need to balance of both. Okay, I'm going to get right back into this. I'm sorry. You don't want to only develop max strength. You want to balance of both. So like raw explosiveness, max velocity, acceleration, vertical jump, strength, everything, right? All right, the regular broad jump, we're going to go, is this triple broad jump or regular broad jump? No, this is the regular broad jump. We're going to go A tier. This is because you're going to develop acceleration very well, but that's really about it, right? So you're going to teach your body how to produce horizontal power, which honestly is really good. Low-key could go S tier, but I have something that's going to go S tier instead. If this is band-resisted broad jumps, we're going S tier, or we'll talk about it later. But band-resisted broad jumps, S tier. You can develop horizontal power, force production, optimal power, general explosiveness, all the benefits you could think of. Very, very good. It has high correlation, extremely high correlation. Your max effort broad jump, the length of it, to your acceleration 10-yard dash. And what 90% of athletes struggle with is their first 20 yards. People are trash at accelerating. If you're good at acceleration, it's probably natural. It could be genetic. It could be you broad jumping and being good at a squat. But you need this, right? You really, really need this exercise. You need to do this exercise very, very often. I program this all the time. I could put S tier, but I don't want to have a long-ass S tier just because I'm being very easy, right? Resistance sprints, S plus tier, 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 S plus tier. It's not even a question. It's not a question. You load that thing up 10 to 20% of your body weight, you will be one of the fastest accelerators. You will develop horizontal power, general explosiveness, force production at fast speeds, rate of force development. This is one of the best, probably the number one. I'm not going to say the number one, but one of the best exercises to develop sprint speed. Let me explain it in a little bit deeper science. So when you sprint, you hit peak velocities at a very short range when you're not fast, all right? If you cannot run 10.7, that's what I mean by not fast, all right? That doesn't mean you're slow. I'm not calling people trash, but I'm trying to give you guys a frame of what I'm talking about. If you're running below 10.7 or a 5.5 or 4.5 40 yard, your peak velocity, and below I mean like you're running 4.6, 4.7, or you're running like 11.2, right? So slower than those times. Your peak velocity fizzles out at 5 to 10 yards, right? So what I mean is after probably 3 steps, you've hit your max velocity. So what a lot of people will say is, I feel like I'm getting faster at the end, or I feel like I start off fast, like I'm a good accelerator, but then at the end I fizzle out. That's because you're hitting peak velocity so fast that you're not even developing momentum. Developing momentum is extremely important, and the momentum comes from horizontal power. Horizontal angles. You're running at 45 degrees and you're developing power into the ground, developing force into the ground to propel you forward later on for max velocity. If you cannot develop force into the ground at a horizontal angle, so horizontal power, at fast rates, and it still needs to be fast, then you are hitting peak velocity, which is like your max speed at like 10 yards. And when you hit your max speed at 10 yards, guess what? You still have another 80 yards to sprint, or 90 yards to sprint. Or if you're running a 40, you still have another 30 yards to sprint. You have another 30 yards to sprint and you hit your max velocity at the first 10 yards because you're slow and you can't produce horizontal force. Guess what? You're going to run a very bad time. You need to be able to develop and continue to produce horizontal force at a horizontal angle for at least 30 to 40 yards. Some say 20, whatever. Let's shoot for 30 to 40. And the way you develop this aspect, which is one of the most important things for your overall sprint, is to stop yourself from peaking out the first 10 yards, which I promise you all of you do. If you cannot run 10.7, you are peaking out the first 10 yards, which is terrible. Then you need resisted sprints. An alternative is hill sprints. Hill sprints, S tier. Resisted sprints with a band or with sleds, S+. Hill sprints, S tier. When I talk about hill sprints, this is what I mean. Hill sprints. People think when I'm talking about hill sprints, I'm talking about a certain thing. All right. This is a hill sprint. All right. This is what I mean. A decent incline. This is a little bit too much. This is too much. You should not be muscling your way up. It should be a very gradual incline. It should be very, very calm incline. It's fishy. It's hard to talk about because it's kind of subjective. Like, this is too much, right? This is power hill strides. Yeah, it's too much. This is a good example right here, right? These are too much. This is way too much. This is not going to develop your horizontal explosiveness. This is just a muscle exercise. This is for strength. It's not going to develop your speed. It's the same thing as doing like a sled push, right? But you want a slight incline, a very, very small incline. This is a good incline. This is very, very small. It's an incline, very, very small. These are still good for horizontal power. If you're running where I'm going to put sled pushes, I didn't add sled pushes. I put them in B tier for general explosiveness. Remember, this video is about general raw explosiveness. This is probably B or C tier, right? Honestly, if this video is about raw explosiveness, we're going to put the half squat into A tier. Now that I'm thinking more about it. Okay. Band assisted sprints, we're going to put C tier only because none of you guys are going to do it. If you're first of all, you need someone to do it for you. Like, you need someone to have a very long band and push you against, or a 1080, and 1080s cost over $10,000. So I promise you 90% of you guys are not going to do it because there's not enough long bands that are cheap enough, and 1080s, no one's buying it, right? But if you can figure out how to do long sprints, maybe you have like a lot of wind behind you, it's just too dangerous. Raw explosiveness, yeah, like I said, like, I'm not really factoring in the danger, because you gotta remember, for this tier list, we're not factoring in danger or durability, right? We're just going like what is going to give you the best bang for your buck, but still, it's just not worth it. I wouldn't ever suggest this for someone, right? And if we're not talking about danger, yeah, no, I still wouldn't change anything. Okay, power clean, same thing as a power snatch, but I think it's better than a power snatch. The skill is too high. The skill floor is too high. Coaches, some old head coaches you'll see in my comment section, just teach the power clean, right? It's not that hard to learn the power clean. Just learn the power clean. You need to learn the Olympic list. It's not that hard. It should only take you one session. Who cares? Some people are going to struggle with the skill, how difficult the technique is. And if we're learning thousands of other things, like a lot of you guys in here want to be faster sprinters, you do not need to be learning multiple things. You want to know how many things you can learn at one time? One. Your brain cannot handle more than one thing at a time. So if you're spending a whole day trying to learn how to sprint, and it's like, okay, let me teach you the power clean, that might transfer to your sprint. Well, all the knowledge you learned about sprint technique and how to improve it, that just went out the shitter. Now your brain's confused because you're learning two things at once. So it's almost never worth it to teach the power clean. And then once again, for people who are like, you just need to learn it. Who cares? You just need to get it taught. Let's talk about injury risk. Because once we go to 90%, injuries happen. And that's the only way you get the same benefit as loaded jumps or a trap or high pull. In the research, it says you need to hit 90% of your 1 rep max to get max explosiveness gains. And the reason why you're getting max explosiveness gains is because of max intent, which helps with motor unit recruitment and rate of force development. You can get max intent in so many safer ways with the same exact benefit. This is B tier. I'm about to put it C tier because now I'm ranting and I'm starting to get irritated. But we're going to put this B tier because it's better than high snatch. Stair jumps, D tier. C tier. Could be helpful for horizontal power, but the amount of stress it gives to the Achilles tendon, not worth it. And for raw explosiveness, is not even that good anyways. You can just do a drop jump or a bound. I don't even feel like talking about it for that long. 5v5 basketball, S+ tier. You know something I heard a while ago was someone commented in my section, and it was like a video of me. I transformed a guy. He went from not being able to touch, I think it was like not even touching backboard. And I showed how he did the just jump program, and he went from not touching backboard to dunking, right? It was a good dunk too. It wasn't even like a BS dunk. It was like a solid dunk, right? He's like 5'7". When he did that, I showed some progressions, right? Some of my training philosophies, and they said, you know, I'm 5'8", and I've been dunking for like 10 years, and I didn't work out ever. I was always able to dunk. You don't need to do all this. It's a waste of time to train. And you know what? He was kind of right. But he didn't explain it well. The reason why people can dunk without training is because basketball. When you play 5v5 basketball, you're getting so much gains to your acceleration, to deceleration, change of direction, and your vertical jump. Have you ever thought about you boxing out somebody and trying to grab a ball for a rebound? Or you jumping for a layup? A layup is a max effort jump. It's the same thing as dunking off 1 foot because you're trying to jump as high as possible, maybe slam on the backboard, like touch the backboard and lay it up, like some people do. And you're getting off the ground, right? You're getting off the ground at fast speeds, right? You're sprinting to the rim and then jumping off as fast as possible to, stop yourself from getting blocked. And you're jumping up as high as possible to stop yourself from getting blocked. And then let's think about when you finish a 5v5 basketball session, what do a lot of people do? Let's do a dunk session. Who can dunk? Let's just throw off our dunks. Let's throw lobs and see how high we can jump. This is all explosiveness training. This is all explosiveness training. And then you're defending someone, you're changing directions laterally. That's lateral change of direction with a reaction, which is very, very intense on the body. You're decelerating, you're accelerating to catch up to the person to close out. You have the basketball in your hand, you're blowing past someone, you're doing a crossover. That's lateral explosiveness, acceleration. It is the best drill or exercise. If you are like, I don't want to train, I don't want to go in the weight room, I don't want to do plyometrics, I don't care about any of this bullshit, all this science doesn't matter, I don't care about science, I just want to jump higher, go play 5v5. And then go do dunk sessions at least 2 to 3 times a week, about 10 to 30 dunks. And go play 5v5 consistently. Don't get injured. If you don't care about science, if I'm talking all this, just like, dude, I don't give a fuck about all this. I just want to jump higher. I don't want to buy any programs. I don't want to do anything. Go play 5v5 basketball. Do that shit for 3 months. You're going to improve. But is that going to be conducive to a lot of other things? Maybe not. If I were going to rank these, I'd probably put this first. Bounding third. And then resisted sprints second. Deep squat, B tier. This is more of an injury prevention exercise. A lot of people get this completely mistaken, and I'm going to explain why deep squats do not improve raw explosiveness. Okay? Let's start with the research. Joint angle specificity is you're producing the most force at the angles you jump from. Nobody jumps from a deep squat position. If you're jumping from a deep squat position, especially in basketball, you fucked up. All right, let's get that understood. If you are, for some reason, ass to grass in the middle of a basketball game, you either got crossovered, you broke your ankle, or something fucking went wrong. You probably tore something if you were ass to grass in the middle of a basketball game. So if you're never going to hit ass to grass or even parallel in the middle of a basketball game, you're never going to jump from there. Why would you train from there? I'll give you a reason why. Injury prevention, right? You need to prevent injuries. What if that does happen, right? What if you do push your knee that far forward over your toes? Or what if you do have that much knee bend? Yeah, injury prevention. But for raw explosiveness, especially when we start talking about the research, once you're past 2 years of training, this does almost nothing. All it does is develop compensations. It develops poor motor unit recruitment, which means how you fire your muscles. It can even kind of fuck up your rate of force development in a sense, okay? And co-contractions, right? The way you co-contract, which is really important. So in the research, deep squats are really, really good for beginners. And this is where you'll see a lot of those like old head coaches preach deep squats and they'll die on the hill, is because research does say deep squats improve 40-yard dash and vertical jump. And it's a fact, and they show the numbers. But when you actually read research, you're not just reading headlines like what 90% of the population does. When you actually read the research, every single time deep squats improved someone's vertical jump, they were adolescents, they were new to training, or they're untrained males, college males who need $10, or a college student who eats potatoes all day, needed $100, so they joined a research club or whatever. They joined one of the studies, and then they started doing deep squats and started training, because you don't only deep squat in these research papers, you actually do a full training program. So they finally started training, and they're usually a couch potato who played video games all day, and then they improved their vertical jump. If you are untrained, then yes, deep squats are good. But the more trained you are, you need to be very specific with the way you train, the angles you train. It's like your explosiveness and the adaptations you make at the tendon level and at the nervous system level are very specific to the angles you train at. Even training, if you jump from a quarter squat but you train from a half squat, that low-key might not transfer. You need to be very specific with the way you train, the way you jump, the way you sprint. Everything needs to be very angle specific once you fall out of this beginner range. Once you're an intermediate, 2 years of training, you've done a program for 2 years, you followed consistent training, you're not just doing random workouts, you need to let go of this deep squat. Do it maybe once or twice out the year, 3 to 4 months out the year, but this should not be the meat and potatoes of your jump workout. I'm sorry I talked for that for way too long. Reaction tag, we'll go S tier. Man, it's kind of like 5v5 basketball, but without the skill component. That's all I gotta say. The same benefits as 5v5 basketball without like the vertical jump aspect, but without the skill component of basketball. All right. 40-yard dash, S plus tier. Timed 40-yard dashes. We'll go S plus, and we'll go here. We'll go here. A lot of people get mistaken is that 40-yard dashes just improve the technique. When you're running 40 yards, all you're doing is you're improving technique. When you run time sprints with no weight or assistance, whatever, nothing to it, it's just sprinting, you're actually improving raw explosiveness traits. You're improving tendon elasticity, you're improving rate of force development, you're improving relative power, motor unit recruitment. Man, horizontal power, vertical force production, so many things, right? Ankle stiffness, tendon elasticity, tendon compliance. You're improving all these things. Literally every aspect of athleticism is improved with a 40-yard dash or any type of sprints. So no, it's not only improving technique, you are improving raw explosiveness. And it's probably one of the best ones at doing it, right? This is a max effort jump. We're going to put this in S plus tier. This is a high jump photo, but when I'm saying max effort jumps, I'm talking about dunking. I'm talking about anything with a goal, right? So jumping for a tennis ball, doing a high jump, doing a dunk session. These are amazing, right? Absolutely perfect. You're going to develop the most important thing, which is usually jumping for a lot of people, right? You're developing the aspect itself, like the goal itself, do the goal. 90% of the time, if you want to jump higher, you need to jump. If you want to sprint faster, you need to just sprint, right? Think about my program names. They're called Just Jump, Just Sprint for a reason, right? Don't complicate it. I know the research, I know the science, but let's keep it simple. Jump to jump higher, sprint to sprint faster, squat to squat more weight. I can go into detail about all the science, but it is literally just that simple. Same thing as the sprints. Like a lot of people think jumping is the same. It's just improving technique. That's all you're doing. No, you're developing a lot of raw athletic traits, a lot of good raw athletic traits, very important ones, very specific to the sport. Hill sprints, we talked about this earlier. We'll go S tier. Resisted with a band or sled resistance, which by the way, you can get a pretty cheap sled. Like people, I know like money is hard these days, but like sleds, sprints, cheap. Like go mow someone's lawn. Go work a job and save some money up for a month and go get a $40 sled, or go get a $10 sled, or $20 sled, or go get a $20 tire sled. I'm not telling people that they're broke or whatever it is, but please work hard, find a way to make money, and go get a sled. People always tell me I don't have sleds. Go find a hill. I can't make money. It's physically impossible. I promise you it's not possible, especially in today's age. Go find a hill then. But this is a non-negotiable. Resistance sprints are non-negotiable. Complete non-negotiable. If you're slow and you want to get faster, or you want to be more explosive in basketball, soccer, volleyball, these are non-negotiables. Tennis, whatever it is. Def jump. S tier, I need to rank these, by the way. Max ever jump here. Resistance sprints here. Def jump here. Drop jump. Hurdle jump. We'll put hurdle hops over here. Reaction tag over this. We'll go reaction tag. Reaction tag at the top of S tier. Then def jump. Hurdle hop. Quarter squats will go at the bottom. Honestly, we could put quarter squats at A tier because it's still a strength exercise at the end of the day. So top of A tier. Broad jumps. Half squats. Okay. I don't feel like actually this is actually kind of perfect. We can actually do this. Actually, no, this. This can go here. There we go. Cool. Something like this. It doesn't need to be perfect. What did I just say? Reaction tag, def jumps, really, really important. You're developing amortization phase, reversal strength, which is really important. This could be a missing link for people. Def jumps and drop jumps can be a missing link for transitional strength. So if you feel like you jump high from a standstill, but you can't bring in speed, this could be that missing link. Okay? This could definitely be the missing link. It's also good for just general power, general explosiveness, reactive strength index, all those things. Tib races, F tier. This is our first F tier for today. Oh, man. Before I even get in here, we'll restart this. Let me just check the chat. Reaction tag, just tag. Sorry, I said reaction tag. I meant to say tag. My bad. Sorry, just tag. Tag and like try hard. Like try hard tag. What's your third exercise in S tier? I'll read through all the exercises in a second. Okay, we're chatting. Oh, guys, pay attention and rewind the video. Basketball to the ground, quarter squats. Do you think I should just do... Okay. I'm sorry, there's a lot of questions. I want to answer it, but I don't want to... I'm on a roll right now, okay? Is the microphone okay? I think we're good. Okay. Let's do tib raises. F tier. So, don't get fooled by social media. That's all I'm going to say. Just because a coach said this is the best way to reduce knee pain, and he said it, and he said it in a good way. He said it with a good story. He explained it in a way that was so captivating that it just made you believe it. There was no research to back it up. There was no research paper plattered on that screen. I promise you there wasn't. Go rewatch the videos you saw. There was no research in the caption. There was no research in the description. You want to know why? This is a sad case of bro science. Okay? Let's explain. Because I'm going to upset people. I understand I'm kind of being controversial. Tib raises is loading the tibialis. You have a tibialis anterior and the posterior. All right? Both are important for different ways. And I wouldn't say never do tib raises. But there's some better versions. Like if you want to really find a tib raise that's good, instead of doing weighted, you want to do band resisted. So it's still weighted, it's still resisted. But you do band resisted, you do a circle. That's going to train different aspects of the tib because they're different muscles. Inside the tib is not just one huge muscle. And that would be more beneficial. That would probably be C tier or D tier. But for raw explosiveness, this does not help you jump higher. All you're doing is load the tib. All right. When you load the tib works as a decelerator after the patellar tendon and the quad. Okay. And technically the hamstring. The hamstring is number one, then the patellar tendon second. So it's a decelerator for jumps, for horizontal momentum, right? So you're bringing in more momentum and you're decelerating with the hamstring first. It should be the quad and patellar tendon second. I might be a little bit off in terms of timing. And then the tib would usually turn on and fire if your patellar tendon is not strong enough. Remember that, if your patellar tendon is not strong enough. Well, let's keep going. When you do plyometrics, your tib is being trained up to four to 6 times your body weight, right? So if you're doing a plyometric drop jump, for example, which I low-key should have mentioned this earlier, but you're resisting your body 4 to 6 to even sometimes 10 times your body weight when you're doing a drop jump. So your body weight's multiplying when you drop from the air because of momentum, right? Because of gravity, I'm sorry. And momentum, same thing, whatever. All right. Because of gravity, you are withstanding so many forces to your tibs. That's all you need for strong tibs. Okay? Now, adding tib raises on top of this, especially because of the resistance path. Remember, resistance path is how you actually perform the lift, right? The bar path is another way to look at it. Actually gives you a lot of overuse injuries in the tib. I think there should be research on this, and it'd be kind of funny if there isn't, because I was just making fun of how it's just bro science. Tib raises and overuse injuries. There probably isn't. All right, yeah, you'll get medial tibial stress syndrome. I know they're not talking about tib raises, but this is the scientific term of the type of overuse injury you would get from tib raises because of the bar path and the resistance profile when you do tib raises. It's too much load that you're probably already getting from plyometrics. So I'll put it in a better context. If you're doing plyometrics and jumping, this is F tier, because the plyometrics, sprinting, and jumping is already enough load to the tibs that you don't need more. And if you do more, you will get a medial tibial stress syndrome, right? You'll get overuse stress injury, stress fracture to the shins. If you are a couch potato, I'm not going to put an age, but you're a couch potato, you sit on your ass all day, you don't train at all you do is watch TV, and you have shin splints, then these could be helpful. But let me explain shin splints. Oh, wait, actually, let me break down. This doesn't improve your vertical jump. I don't think, I think I explained that, right? Like, if you're using a tib as a decelerator, that means, number one, if your shins are turning on when you're jumping, right, and they're getting irritated when you're jumping, that means, number one, your shoes suck. Number two, your hamstring's weak. And number three, your patella tendon's weak and your glutes weak. Your shin should be the last line of defense. It shouldn't be getting activated so much when you're sprinting and jumping. Your patella tendon should be taking all the stress, and it shouldn't be painful at all, which means it's a strong patella tendon from these type of exercises, right? So developing tendon tolerance is really important. So this shouldn't even be a factor, especially if you're sprinting and jumping. You're getting enough load to the tibs, and it doesn't improve force production. If it's not improving explosiveness, because there's no stimulus to the central nervous system, it's accessory lift. It's not compound movement. So if it's not compound lift, there's no stimulus to the central nervous system, and then it's wow, my brain just farted. It's not compound movement, so no stimulus to the central nervous system, and then you're not producing force from the tib. You don't produce force from deceleration, right? If you're stopping your body, you're not producing force backwards. You're decelerating. You're absorbing force. So this doesn't improve raw explosiveness. You're not producing force at all. You never jump by pulling your toes up. You don't sprint by pulling your toes up. Technically you pull your toes up, but that's to absorb force, correct? To be elastic. So your tendon is stretched and in an isometric position. So it can produce force at a faster rate. Not to jump. So it's F tier. Maybe I didn't explain that well, but I'll do a presentation on it, okay? Jump rope, C tier. B tier. C tier. Top of C tier. No, wait, it has to be B tier because I said calf raises are C tier. Never mind. I just changed my brain. Middle of B tier. Really good if you do it at long periods of time, right? So you'll hear some people who are like, I dunked by just doing jump rope every day. They're correct. These are one of those exercises that if it's paired correctly with the right training program, like jump rope and basketball is like a really good mix. Or jump rope and just sprinting, like if those are only two exercises you picked, is a really good combo because you're developing the extensiveness and the elasticity in the tendon and you're doing the max effort work. Or just max effort dunks and then jump rope. You could literally do that for 4 weeks and improve your vertical jump because you're doing the max effort exercise that's very specific to the sport and then building all the general qualities in the ankle stiffness portion and in the tendon's elasticity portion, which we know is important. So this kind of just is a one-trick pony. It kind of develops everything. Low-key is A tier, but for raw explosiveness is B tier. If this was like a general athleticism tier list, I'd probably put it S tier. But it develops, tendon elasticity, ankle stiffness, reversal strength, your stress shortening cycle, so many things. I could just name thousands of benefits. But when you pair it with max velocity sprinting or max effort sprinting, max effort resistance sprints, or like a max effort dunk session, so like 30 dunks and then 10 minutes of jump rope, remember, it has to be extensive. You can't do jump rope for 10 reps. You need to do 5 minutes minimum, right? Or it's not really going to make any adaptation at the 10 levels. You need to do 5 to 15 minutes, 15 minutes maximum. You do that every single day and just max ever dunks, you're going to dunk. All right, it's just that simple. Yes, I would love for you to hop on Just Jump and do it the most optimal scientific way, but this is a very general way. If you're like, I just don't want to do science, I don't give a fuck about science, I just want something that's going to work. This will work. 5 to 10 minutes, build up to 5 minutes, then build up to 10 minutes, then build up to 15 minutes every single day, 5 to 6 days out the week, and then do dunk sessions 3 to 4 days out the week. There you go. You're done. You're welcome. Hip thrust, C tier, B tier, C tier, B tier, C tier. Better than, I don't feel like trying to rank it. Just develop strength in glute. It's good for beginners. Like if you're a beginner, you don't know how to activate your glute, a single leg hip thrust or a regular barbell hip thrust, decent, but not going to really develop explosiveness. It could be, I'll put it at the top of C tier because I have seen some research recently saying it's really, really good for your vertical jump. Like it's like low-key like one of the best lifts for your vertical jump. Especially 2-foot jumping, because you are using glutes as extensors, and even 1-foot jumping too, because you're using the glute as an extension, and you're loading that movement very, very well, especially in a kind of like a, I wouldn't say joint angle specific because it's not really using a lot of joints, but kind of angle specific. Or I guess it would be joint angle specific in a smaller range of motion. So yeah, we'll actually go better deep squats. I changed my mind mid thing. S tier. Box drop med ball throws. So it's where you drop off a box and throw a med ball really high. We'll probably put it closer to the top of S tier. I even low-key might put S+. No, because it's not better than reaction tag or just tag. But then, like, where should I put tag? You know what? We'll put it later. We'll figure it out later. So it's the same thing as a def jump, same thing as a drop jump. You're dropping off a box, multiplying your weight, handling that weight, reversing it with the stretch running cycle, but now we're adding more power to it. So some people might call it a Viking med ball toss or like a Viking def jump. But you're adding more power to a regular def jump. There you go. Boom. All right. It's just like low-key the perfect exercise. There's not a lot to say. It's really good for developing the stress running cycle and reversal strength and getting out the amortization phase. Especially when you add load to it, you'll multiply at a faster rate because you're, instead of being 160 pounds, now you have a 20-pound med ball, you're 180 pounds. So your weight's multiplying even more. So you have to handle even more forces and throw up the force with power, right? This is actually a single A def jump. So we're going to move this down to A tier, right? Because the ground contact times are too slow, it's just really not that good. It's more of a strength exercise. But it could be really good for 2-foot jumps. So when you're doing fast, elastic 2-foot jumps, 2-foot plyometrics, that'll transfer more to your 1-foot bounce. And when you're doing single leg jumps or more power dominant, knee dominant exercises like these right here, knee dominant jumps, knee dominant lifts, those are going to transfer well to your 2-foot jump and acceleration sprint speed. But the fast elastic stuff will transfer to 2-foot jumps, but these are going to be max velocity sprinting, 1-foot jump dominant stuff, right? Stuff that will improve that, right? But still, just general explosiveness, you still need this. Like, you should not avoid this. If you're like, I'm just a 2-foot jumper and I need to improve acceleration, I'm not going to do any of these, still do them. Still do them. It's not all these. Like these two are just really good for everything, but like obviously like 1-foot jumping and bounding is really good for 1-foot jumps because the ground contact times are so fast and you're utilizing the fast stretch running cycle, but these are slow stretch running cycle type exercises. Nordic hamstrings for raw explosiveness, D tier. Actually just F tier. It does nothing. It does not develop raw explosiveness. This is another one of those KOT things you see and people preach it to the day you die. Like, well, you saw Tyreek Hill do these and you saw knees over toe guys do these, so these improve your sprint speed. They improve injury prevention, right? It's eccentric. It's an eccentric focused exercise, which means you're damaging the muscle a lot, right? When you're damaging the muscle a lot, that develops more muscle. You're building more hypertrophy. More hypertrophy is armor. Armor is hypertrophy. Strength is hypertrophy. Right? Strength is armor. Hypertrophy is armor. This is preventing injuries, not developing force production. Eccentrics, slow eccentrics do not develop force production. They develop force absorption. And the hamstrings are a big force absorber for max velocity sprinting and 1-foot jumps and even 2-foot jumps. But guess what? The velocity is too slow to transfer. If you're doing these slow Nordic eccentrics, so you're doing like those 5-second lowers where you're trying to get your chest to touch it, like with the Tyreek Hill video, right? It's too slow. It's too slow. It'll never transfer to fast plyometric based exercises, jumping, 5v5 basketball, sprinting. It's too slow. Research shows that strength is velocity specific. So this is flat out too slow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hurt your dreams. All right, triple broad jump S tier. This is like almost paired up with hill sprints. We're actually move drop jump a little more farther down because these two exercises, this is just too superior. Drop jump is definitely farther down. Triple broad jump. You're going for distance. It's great for horizontal power, acceleration. Really good if you don't have hills. Like you legit just cannot buy a sled. You cannot fork up the money to buy a sled. You cannot find a hill. Replace it with triple broad jumps. And if you can get a banded triple broad jumps are even better. But that kind of, if you can't do band resistance or sled resistance, you can't do hill sprints, then just triple broad jumps. It's very similar type of effects. Or if you can't sprint, like let's say it's like snowing outside, triple broad jumps. Go do it in your basement or on your first floor. You're not going to break nothing. What are these? Extensive skips. So where do I have, we'll put these in A tier. Okay. Extensive skips is going to develop, oh my God, it's kind of hard because this is a general explosiveness tier list, but for like general athleticism, that's like S plus tier. I'm not gonna lie. Extensive skips. So think of doing an A skip for 5 minutes straight. What you guys usually do is A skips for 10 yards, 20 yards as your warm up. Think about doing it for 5 minutes straight. The amount of ankle stiffness and elasticity you're going to develop is going to be through the fucking roof. All right. I can't even explain more. It's the same benefits as jump rope, but you're adding horizontal momentum. So it's going to be a way higher chance for it to 1 foot jumping and 2 foot jumping because it's going to help make your tendon adapt to horizontal velocity, which means you can decelerate and bring in more speed. You decelerate better, bring in more speed. It's how 1 foot jump help the pop off, right? I want that pop off the ground. I want that elasticity off the ground. You know, it looks like a kangaroo. You're just like boom, 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 boom. This is a great exercise. Okay, I really want to put an S tier. Like I think it's one of the best things, but for raw explosiveness, like technically it doesn't develop raw explosiveness. But for general athleticism, S plus. It low key is like top 5. What is this? Karaoke? Top of C tier. It's same thing. Another extensive exercise. Another extensive exercise. Really good for fluidity. If you like are a basketball player and you want to be really shifty, you need to develop fluidity, right? And fluidity without the basketball at a general level comes from lateral plyometrics, extensive plyometrics. So it's really good for developing fluidity. Still really good for developing ankle stiffness and elasticity in the tendon. And the Achilles tendon is what I'm talking about. You're teaching hip flips, which is really important for just general athleticism. For general athleticism, it's probably A or S tier. Extensive, 5 minutes, 10 minutes straight of just nonstop karaoke. Really good. Also, too, for reducing ankle sprains is a really, really good one. If you struggle with ankle sprains, I think it's like in the research, 60% of ankle sprains come from lateral ankle turns, right? So if your ankle is straight and it turns laterally, those are where I think 60 or it could even be 90. I know it's above 60 for sure. Was where 60% of ankle sprains come from. It's from lateral sprains, right? So you're exposing your ankle to lateral forces. So lateral forces at velocity, which is where you get ankle sprains, is when you land. So high velocities, you're exposing the tendon in the ankle and those small muscles in the ankle, the fascial muscles, the fascia, to those forces. So really good for injury prevention. That would be like S tier for injury prevention. What is this? Lateral sprints. We can go, because I love sprints, we'll go A tier. I'm not really sure where to place it, but somewhere around here, it could be top of A tier, depending on who you are, right? For change of direction, it's really good. For raw, for quick first step, so being able to blow past, what a lot of people don't understand is that acceleration is actually lateral. So you have a coach that tells you to run straighter, they're a terrible coach. They don't know anything about biomechanics. The gait cycle is loose, right? So the first couple steps of a sprint, 40-yard, blowing past someone with the basketball, whatever it is, football, right? A release off football is lateral. We actually can look at a lateral release. Football release, right? So football wide receiver release. We can put this in slow motion, and you're gonna understand that you actually produce force laterally in 90% of situations. Look at how he moves side to side first. You don't go straight. This is the same thing in track. You don't ever go straight when you're producing force at the start, right? When does he actually move? Look at this. This is kind of a weird example because obviously it's like, you know, it's football, so he has to get around the person and shift them first. But it's the same thing in track and field or a 40-yard dash. Look at that. When you're trying to go straight, you're always going to go lateral. Your feet naturally go lateral to go forward. So lateral sprints develops the lateral glute and lateral shins and hamstrings and quads, right? The explosiveness portion of that. So it's actually really, really important for the first like 3 steps. Even him going first, like his first step, I can't get a good video of this. Oh, we could actually see it a little bit like faster. Look at this. Let's just take it off of, I was trying to be smart, but I'm not smart. Either way, look at how he's exploding. He's going laterally. He has to go around someone, so it's kind of a bad example, but it's the same thing in track. You're going to produce force laterally, and you're going to flail. Your legs are going to flail, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're not need to run like a robot. Lateral bounds, or skater jump, some might call it. We'll go B tier. Go B tier. I think it's a little overrated. Some people kind of it depends on the sport, right? For general explosiveness, I think it's B tier. But for change of direction, it could be S tier, right? You're just developing explosiveness in the lateral glute, which once again is really good for acceleration because your first couple steps are going to be very lateral. And then as you keep building up momentum, it's going to be very, very linear. You're not going to be moving side to side as much, but you're going to be rotating more at the core, at the upper body. The torso will be rotating like this, but your glutes are not going to be rotating that much. But in the first acceleration, this could be really important. For general explosiveness, okay. Band resist repeat jumps. We're going to put this in S+. Band resist repeat jumps. There's a difference, all right? People don't know what I'm talking about. There's a difference. Band resisted jumps. I want you guys to see how fire this type of jump is. There's a certain setup I'm talking about. Right here, you put the bands above your shoulders, and then you jump for max height. Try to jump as high as possible, 6 to 8 reps, 3 to 4 sets. He's not doing it right. You want to keep going, right? So I wonder if PGF has something on this. Does PGF have something? Oh, perfect. There we go. Homemade Vertimax. This right here. All right? You see the repeat jumps? Can I keep going back up? Look at this. This is developing extensiveness in the patellar tendon, developing the stretch shortening cycle, reversal strength, general power, raw explosiveness. Is literally like, honestly, it's top 3. It's like low-key top 3. It will make one of the biggest changes in your force production you will ever see. It is better than a squat. It is better than a quarter squat. It is better than a deep squat. If you are struggling with force production, you cannot produce force at fast rates. This honestly, like low-key is second. Is low-key second. I don't want to make changes because I'm being hype. I'm like being excited right now. But once I can like calm down, it low-key might be second. This exact setup though, you cannot do the ones with the hands. You need to put it around your shoulders with a band, not dumbbells. Dumbbells is A tier. This is S+ for a reason. All right. This will be one of the biggest changes to your vertical jump you probably will ever see. I'm not going to rank it yet though. I definitely is above bounds though. Definitely above bounds. Some track and field coaches might hate me. KOT squats, F tier. Oh yeah, I'm on it today. KOT squats, F tier. I don't even want to explain this. I don't care if I get hate for being like disingenuous. I don't care. Why do I have to explain this? You're overloading the quads, right? The position's cool actually. For hypertrophy, this low-key could be like S tier for the quad. For like quad hypertrophy, low-key S tier. For explosiveness, nothing. It doesn't do anything. You're pushing your knee way too far above the toe. That's going to give you shin splints and patellar tendonitis. All right, especially if you already have knee pain, you're just asking for more knee pain. You're putting too much compression on the knee. And then for explosiveness, what are you doing? It's an eccentric based exercise, a slow eccentric. So we already know that doesn't transfer to your sprint, speed, or jump. The research is completely conflicted on that. You only fast eccentrics transfer. So slow eccentrics, so what? Slow eccentrics, what's the purpose? Hypertrophy and muscle building and armor, like we talked about earlier. So if your goal is hypertrophy, muscle training, and muscle building and armor, then this isn't good for explosiveness. Like hypertrophy is for durability, not explosiveness. Unless you're a beginner. But even if you're a beginner, if you want to develop a balanced lower leg, you don't want a quad dominant exercise. You want a deep squat, a balanced exercise for the quads, the glutes, and the hamstrings. Deep squats is one of the best things for your glutes, one of the best things for your hamstrings and your quads. A balanced exercise. This is terrible. I don't even know. It doesn't develop force production. It doesn't develop force absorption. It's just nothing. All it does is knee pain. You're just asking for knee pain. Apparently, it's supposed to save your knees, but it gives you knee pain. It's too much compression on the knee. You're pushing your knee too far forward, and you're compressing the knee too much. Don't even talk about if you're tall. If you're above 6 feet, you're just asking for knee pain. If your limbs are too long, you're putting your knee through too much range of motion. Especially if you have knee pain, you're asking for more knee pain. I'm sorry, KLT. I don't hate you, bro. I don't hate you. I'm not going to say your name. I don't hate you. You know I don't hate you. F tier hip flexor training. Man, I have, oh my God, I'm terrible, bro. Hip flexor lifts. Banded, kettlebell, dumbbell. If it's cable and you're going through a full range of motion, I'll put C tier. I'll put D tier because we're talking about general explosiveness. If you are training in only a short range of motion, which is anything with a band or a kettlebell or a dumbbell, it is F tier. It does nothing, okay? People, your hip flexor is not as important for sprinting as people like would think, right? So let's look at a sprint. Sprint gait cycle. And I'm going to explain to you why your hip flexors are not what you think they are. Look at a sprint, all right? When you're sprinting, you're producing force down, right? The ankle's down. Look at this. He's doing a low intensity, so this is actually kind of a bad example. All right, look, this is perfect. You're pushing down. You're not driving your knee up, all right? To produce force into the ground, you have to produce force down. And if you want your stride to open up and you want bigger, like your knees to come up higher, you have to get vertical displacement, which means vertical displacement is force production. You need to get off the ground. Your knees can't come up high if you're not in the air, okay? So what's a sprinting gait cycle? Look at this. Your knee cannot come up off the ground if you're not in the air. So if you produce force down into the ground, then your knee's naturally going to come up with the gait cycle. Now, what people do is they think knees up, and this is where hip flexors are important. Oh, I need hip flexors. Comes from, I need to sprint with my knees up. But guess what happens when you forcefully push your knees up? Which he's not doing, so it's going to be hard. I'm just going to have to explain it with my mouse. Is you're not producing force into the ground. You're producing force into the air. You're kicking nothing. You're kicking nothing, which guess where this happens? So when you shoot your knees up, what happens is your knee overextends, which means you're going to reach because you shot your knees up instead of switching under your center of mass. So when you reach, instead of landing under your center of mass, which is under his pelvis, you're going to land right here, which is overstriding. And when you overstride, guess what happens? That's negative forces. Your shin is going this way, this angle, negative, which means you're decelerating. You're decelerating. So if you shoot your knees up, if you go high knees, like those dumbass fucking high school coaches, just do high knees, high knees, high knees, high knees. Drive the knees up higher. Guess what? You're going to overextend. And if you don't overextend, you put so much energy into drive your knees up, you don't drive your knees to the ground. You're not producing force. So you don't need stronger hip flexors. My knees aren't getting high enough. I need stronger hip flexors. I'm burning out the last 100 meters of a 400 meter sprint or an 800 or a 200. I'm burning out at the end. I need stronger hip flexors. No, you need to produce more force, dumbass. Put force into the fucking ground. It's just that simple. Strengthen your hip flexors. Don't do anything. You're driving down. Everything is always down. The only time you might ever drive your knees up is in acceleration. You might drive your knees forward. I can understand why some coaches might say that, like drive your knee forward versus like just down, down, down. I can understand that. But other than that, there's no excuse for not driving your knee down. You were never driving your knee up. You're not purposely activating your hip flexor. Your hip flexor is a part of the gait cycle. It comes up from vertical displacement. The only time your hip flexor activates and turns on and drives up is when you're in the air. If you're not in the air, you don't need your hip flexor. Okay, I'm saying that wrong. I'm not explaining that correctly. But if you're not in the air, you're not going to utilize your hip flexor correctly. So guess what? If your knees are not coming up high enough and it bothers you, produce more force. Get off the ground. Try dunking a basketball off one foot. Your knee's going to fly up in the air because you're trying to jump as high as possible. It's almost the same as sprinting. When you sprint, your knees, you're producing so much force into the ground, your knees are going to come up, just like you were trying to dunk a basketball. You don't have to tell yourself to drive your knee up during a 1 foot jump. And if you're telling yourself that, that's probably why you can't jump high. I might have not explained that well, but I'm irritated. I'm like 30 minutes in, and there we go. Fast feet, F tier. This doesn't develop fast twitch fibers. It doesn't develop rate of force development. It's not a stimulus to the central nervous system. The only thing, okay, that's wrong. That's wrong. It does activate your central nervous system. It's a very good way to wake up. So for a warm-up, this low-key could be A tier. But for general explosiveness, for actually developing and delivering, making your body adapt to something, and you don't adapt to anything. There's no stimulus besides turning on your central nervous system. You're not producing force. You're not sprinting forward. You're not developing horizontal power. vertical power. You're not doing anything. You're not absorbing force. The only thing I could think that it could be useful for is, once again, turning on his nervous system. Like, good for a warm up, and it could be good for like developing like some context in the ankle, right? Like extensibility in the tendon, the Achilles tendon. So, but if that's the goal, we just do jump rope or skipping, extensive skipping. We don't need to do extensive fast feet. You're just burning yourself out. It doesn't do anything. You're literally not moving. And even the ladder drills, like any type of ladder drill, you're not doing anything. You're not producing force. Just because it looks fast doesn't mean you're going to get faster. You're not producing force. Speed is about producing force at fast rates, not moving your feet at fast rates. People like Usain Bolt are producing 4 or 5 times their body weight in force. They're not moving their feet fast and chopping their feet in the ground. They're producing force. This shit doesn't do anything. All right. I already have triple jump. I don't know why this is here. Again, can I delete this? Triple broad jump. We'll just put it at the bottom. I already have that. My bad. Dumbbell resisted repeat jumps. We're going to put A tier. So band resistance is S plus tier, but A tier for dumbbell, right? So it's the same benefits, but because there's not enough accommodating resistance at the top, you don't get the same benefits in the stretch shortening cycle, but you really get a lot of good force production benefits. And because there's more tension at the top, more tension at the top with the bands, it's much more transferable to actual vertical jump, where you're trying to produce the most force at the peak. So it's better for like peak rate of force development and peak power, but this is just good for general explosiveness. It's not bad. It's A tier. It's not bad. And honestly, if we're going to rank it, I put it above med ball throw. I put it above single leg def jump. Oh, I don't know why single leg def jump's so high. What am I doing? Actually, let's just move this around real quick. Lateral sprints definitely above this. Broad jump's definitely here. Half squat definitely above. Extensiveness, yeah, cool. Right, something like this, something around this. It's honestly just nuance. There's so much nuance. It's really hard to rank. Honestly, yeah, there's too much nuance for me to rank. Every program's different. Every program has its like own goals and needs and stuff like that. So it's really hard to rank exercises, to be honest. I'm more ranking off principle. What is this? What exercise is this? I think these are ankle hops, which is the same thing as jump rope. I'm pretty sure these are ankle hops. Same thing as jump rope. Same thing, just less coordination. Like, we'll just put it right here. Same thing. It's literally the exact same exercise as jump rope without jump rope. Just like low intensity plogos, do it for extensive times, 5 to 15 minutes. Develops ankle stiffness, elasticity in the tendon. It's really, really good. It's good. Single leg bounds. A tier. Actually S tier. Really good for ankle stiffness. It's low key S plus tier, but because it's single leg, it's so harsh on the body. Oh wait, we're not talking about. It doesn't matter how harsh it is. It's S plus. We don't care about if it's harsh on the body because it's just for raw explosiveness. We're looking at these as like byproducts by itself, right? Like if you were to only do this exercise, how much gains would you get? That's honestly the best way I should do it. Honestly, I might add this as an intro. This tier list is gonna be low key. If you only do this exercise, how much gains would you get in terms of raw explosiveness? And we do not care about injuries. Like if injuries just weren't a thing and we're just looking for mainly gains and you had to pick like 3 exercises or something, I'm not gonna do that. But maybe something like that, right? Something around those lines. Progressive bounds better than regular alternating bounds. We'll put progressive bounds. So this is vertical chancy bounds, which means you go left, right the first time, then left, left, right, right, then left, 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 which means you bound left, left, single leg bound 3 times on the left and then 3 times on the right, and then left, 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 which is 4. I just said it like 5 times, but left on 4 times and then right 4 times. So it's like single leg bounds, but you're alternating the sides. Honestly, this low key could be top 3, depending on who you're talking to. It could be top 2. But all S plus, honestly, like any of these could be like top 3. Like it's too hard to rank. In my opinion, it's 5v5 basketball and resisted sprints, but it's too hard to rank. What is this? 10-meter flies, S plus. We gotta put some of these into S. We'll put this in S right here. I can't have just 1,000 S pluses. This is S because this is a mix of both. Like this is literally both in one, right? It's just so intense. 10-meter flies easily S plus. Some people hate on 10-meter flies. I don't understand why. Like, there's some vertical jump coaches are like, it's a waste of time. I don't think so. If you're timing it, it's one of the best stimuluses for raw explosiveness and max velocity. Develops so much stiffness in the ankle. Really good for 1 foot jumpers. I just, the ground contact times are so fast. It's such a good stimulus for a stress running cycle. I don't know. Like, I think it's common sense. Dunk attempts, I put it the same here. Like, dunk attempts and just max over jumps, they're the exact same thing, right? It's just a great stimulus for vertical jump. It's very sport specific, which is exactly what you want. If you want to jump higher, you should be jumping. There's more of a skill component, so technically it's less. Like, it's here. It's not better than just jumping as high as possible and touching something, but it's amazing. It's perfect. And then the top of S will be not the top of S. We'll do second in S will be low rim dunking. If you're struggling with dunking, go low rim dunk. If you can't dunk on a 10 foot, dunk on a 9 foot. And do windmills. Try out new things. This is one of the best things for developing. Honestly, it's like, imagine if you're doing extensive skips, but you deal with the basketball and dunking. It's like the most sport specific extensive exercise you could do. You could do lower end dunks for like 30 minutes and you get great gains in terms of like the tendon adaptation level. You can adapt to the angles you need to co-contract at and decelerate at and all that. It's really good. It's honestly amazing. I already have a def jump here. I don't know why I have another one. Oh, I don't have a regular def jump. All right, def jump will go here because it's not better than Viking, but it's better than hurdle hop. It's not better than hurdle jumps. Okay, def jump. A plain old def jump, really intensive on the central nervous system and the body. You're teaching your body how to get the amortization phase, reverse the strength out, developing stress running cycle, improves their reactive strength index. Really good. Isometric lunge, we'll blow D tier. So I actually promote the isometric lunge a lot, right? For health, for knee health. But for general explosiveness, it doesn't develop explosiveness like that. At a basic level, like, it develops the amortization phase, which is there's a portion of jumping and sprinting when your tendon locks up, right? It's called the amortization phase. So you heard me talk about that a couple times. You need to be strong in that phase or your knee's going to give out. So if you're weak in the amortization phase or you're isometrically weak, then your knee's going to give out. Think about bringing in a bunch of speed and you jump and you dunk. And then next time you're like, let me just bring in more speed. And when you bring in more speed, legs just give out. Like, your knee just collapse. That's being isometrically weak or weak in the amortization phase of the jump, which is when your tendon locks up for like literally milliseconds. It's so fast you can't even look at it. You can't see it. But it locks up for like milliseconds and then it goes into concentric phase. All right, there you go. Single leg RDL, we'll go D tier, but we'll put it behind here. It's good for some balance and stability, but if we're trying to train balance and stability, we could do that with other exercises. It doesn't really do anything for explosiveness. I mean, I guess you could say like it could teach some movement patterns that are important, like a hinge is really important, and then like extension at the glute is important too. So like there is some benefits, but I don't really see the purpose in terms of explosiveness. Maybe acceleration, not sure. I program it, but for like health, like to teach a hinge, right? Time sprints, we're gonna put. This is hard. It's kind of the same thing, but we'll go time sprints better than 40 yard S plus. 40 yards is very specific. Like if you want to get better at the 40 yard, you need to run 40 yards. But time sprints is just like, honestly, actually time sprints is second. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about. Time sprints. So the best type of time sprints is recording or FAT. If you want to learn how to time a sprint with a phone, all you need to do is set up your phone on some type of concrete or have someone record you. But if you can't, put 2 cones up, right? So let's say you run 30 meters or 30 yards. You put the cone up at the start line. You put the cone up at the 30-yard line. And then find a place where you can somehow set up your phone with a shoe, like, and just, even if it's a weird angle, and then start the recording. And then once you go to the cone, it should be able to capture both sides of the cone, by the way. Once you get to the cone, the second you release from the cone, that's when the timer starts. And you can do that by clicking the edit on your phone and like scrolling to shorten the time. Like if you're going to trim the time, you can see the actual time, right? So the second you make a movement, like usually your hand moves backwards or your foot moves backwards first. The second that movement starts, that's when the timer starts. And the second your hip passes the second cone, right, the finish line cone, that's when the timer stops. That's how you time yourself. FAT. That's technically, it's not technically FAT, but it's laser timing, right? It's as close to laser timing as you get. Hand timing is complete bullshit. I know it says a hand timer. It's not hand timer. I'm talking about FAT laser timing or recorded timing, like camera recorded timing. It's one of the best stimuluses you can get for raw explosiveness. You can improve through auto regulation. Auto regulation is the biggest thing, right? I'm having a mind blank. It's just the same thing as a 40-yard, but it's timed. It's specific. It's auto regulation. What the fuck am I trying to look for? What word am I looking for? Max intent. Because you're recording the time and you're looking at the time, you're trying to beat it. You're getting max intent, and max intent, which, oh my god, fuck, that makes this low key so much higher. And then if we're talking about max intent, then this is a whole different list. Max intent is one of the biggest things for improving explosiveness. If you squat with max intent, you try to drive the bar up as fast as possible, you sprint as fast as possible, 110%, you're going to get a completely different stimulus to the central nervous system than going 95%. I'm not trolling. If you sprint a PR, that is one of the most hardest stimulus, and stimulus is good. Hard stimulus is good to the nervous system for getting faster, for an adaptation to your nervous system. So it's an amazing stimulus. But if you sprint 95% of your one rep, your 30-yard PR, right? So if you run a 40-yard, right? If you run a 4.6 and you even run 5% slower than 4.6, right? So someone do the math. I don't know. What's calc, right? So if you run a 4.6, right? Times what is it? 0.05 plus 4.6. So if you run 5% slower and you run a 4.83, that is actually conditioning. You're not giving yourself a stimulus to your body to develop explosiveness. So the reason why timing's so good is you can auto-regulate. You sprint, you just say, we're running 10 30 yards today. And the second I run 5% slower than my PR, we're done for sprints for today. That is one of the best stimuluses you can get to improve sprint speed, vertical jump, and raw explosiveness. All right, I explained that terribly because I'm starting to get really tired, so I'm sorry, but hopefully that makes sense. Auto-regulation and max intent are really important, and this is one of the biggest drivers to improving your sprint speed, okay? Same thing when I'm saying max intent, jumping for a goal. Everything needs to have a goal. When you're trying to dunk during a 5v5 session, you need to dunk with a goal. You want to dunk. When you're jumping, you need to touch something. You need to jump over a high jump. You need to dunk something. When you're sprinting, you're trying to run a time. When you're doing resistance sprints, that's why, like, low-key, I could put it down here. But honestly, because it's just too good. But you're dunking, like dunk sessions, you're going for a goal. That's why these are down here, because there's no goal, right? There's not an actual goal. You're just trying to jump by it. But if you measure these, then these are all S++. If you measure in time and try to figure out what's your jump height on these, you're dunking for a goal. You're trying to touch a tennis ball on the ceiling. You're trying to touch the ceiling. You're jumping as hard as possible, sprinting as hard as possible. These are all S++, like a completely new tier. Max intent is really important. And then when you get lower and lower, max intent kind of doesn't matter. And that's why you start to see for raw explosiveness, I didn't even think about this until now, just off of like I don't want to blow myself up, but off my knowledge, the lower you go, the harder you try, you don't get the same benefits, right? If you try to lift tib raises really hard, that's not a good benefit it's not a stimulus, right? If you try to do lunges really hard, how do you do a max intent lunge? You can't. And then the higher you go up, you start to realize, oh, max intent really matters. You're doing a high pull. You're driving the high pull really hard. You're doing a single leg def jump and jumping as high as possible. You're measuring your broad jump, right? When you start like I just did this naturally because this is how important max intent is. You're throwing a med ball as high as possible. You're jumping, doing repeat jumps, trying to jump as high as possible. You're doing quarter squats. You're doing as heavy weight as possible in a small position. Drop jumps, you're trying to get off the ground as fast as possible. Like all these things as possible, as hard as possible. These are all max intent, and it's so important. I did it naturally. That's how important max intent is in my brain for explosiveness. If you're training like a bitch, you will get bitch results. I'm probably cutting that out the video. I shouldn't have said that. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just said I'm too tired, bro. I'm starting to just say shit. I'm not gonna lie. Single leg squat, I think is one of the best strength exercises. So I'll put it right here. Actually, yeah. And then a single leg jump is really good. It's actually like low key, like top of B tier. We're actually gonna put this top of B tier. develops acceleration, and then the jump version, the single leg jump, is actually really good for knee dominant patellar tendon extensibility, like extensive tendon strength in the patellar tendon. So honestly, it's B tier. It low key is like bottom A tier, but because it's a strength exercise, it's kind of hard. What is this? What is this? What is this, like a? Oh, I think it's a broad jump to a sprint. I kind of don't want to cover that. Single leg calf raise. It's definitely above, but it's below any type of jump variation. So I put it here, right? It's more specific because it's on a single leg, so you're gonna load up less, you're gonna compensate less, and you're gonna utilize a lot more of the miniature muscles in the foot and in the calf, the gastroc. You can even do soleus, right? Which honestly, I want to do a soleus raise, but I'll talk about that later. I'll just probably put in like B tier as well. But yeah, just more specific calf raise. Kind of same things I talked about with the calf raise, but just more specifics is a little bit better, but it still will never be better than any plyometric exercise. Which, if I'm going with that route, but I don't think these are good for raw explosiveness. So it's a little inconsistent with what I'm talking about, but I'm still going to stick with it. Where are these standing skips? I'm not going to cover this. No point. Same thing as jump rope. Trap bar deadlift. We'll put it with right here, just because of how you can manipulate it, right? So we'll actually put it right here. No. What am I talking about? I'm literally chatting. And honestly, I'm low-key being a goofball. Okay. If I order this and you're complaining about the order, I'm low-key all over the place. It's too hard because there's too much nuance to a program to really order anything. So low-key the order low-key doesn't matter at all. Trap bar deadlift, you can manipulate it. You can go really, really heavy, go really, really light. It's low-key like one of the most versatile exercises in the world. Like I could low-key put an S plus tier if it was like versatility. Like you only had one exercise, what would you pick? I'd put it like S plus, like top 3. It's just so much benefits, so many things you can do with it. You could jump with it. You could do high pulls. You could do regular strength. You could do a hinge variation, a knee dominant variation, a hamstring variation, and that's it. There's my tier list. Let's order these a little bit better. If the goal is max intent, which is the most important thing for raw explosiveness, then a couple of these are going to change because I low-key forgot about that. A couple of these are going to change then. Then we'll put this here. We'll put this here. We'll put, since this is more extensibility, we're going to put this down, but I still think it's really, really important. I think it's a missing key for a lot of people. So don't get that mixed up. And we'll put this at the top. Okay? Then I still think this is really important. I know I'm pushing it down, but I think like every program should have it. Okay? It's the purpose of this video is raw explosiveness. We'll put this here. Hill sprints. Obviously, you're going to go up. It's sprinting. I mean, what am I doing? There's no horizontal momentum. It's not even a question. Triple broad jump is going to go up here. If this is def jump to a dunk, it's S plus. All right. If you're doing a def jump to a goal like a tennis ball or a dunk, it's S plus. But a regular def jump with no goal, it's down here. All right. Just a regular def jump is down here. Drop jump, same thing. Quarter squats, max intent doesn't matter, but this is actually perfect. This is fine. This is fine. You could mix these two, right? This is good still. You can even put these up here, but because it's a strength exercise, I'm not going to put it above all these plyometrics. This is also a strength exercise, but it's so specific that I think it's really good. Ceiling leg def jump, I look, you don't like it that much. I just overhyped it. I think this is amazing. It's not, you can't really max intent it because it's, oh wait, no, these are skips for height, right? No, this is skips for height. This is skips for extensibility. Damn. I'm being a little inconsistent right now, but I'm just going to stick with it. Yeah, this is perfect. Perfect is not the right word. There is no perfect. I'm very flawed as a human and as a coach, but I have great results. I think this is, a lot of the things you'll see in my program. Like if you get Just Jump, you're on the Speed Academy, you're on Just Sprint. There's a lot of stuff you'll see in the program, and I think it's solid. I think overall, like at a general concept, like for raw explosiveness, we're not thinking about injury prevention. We're not thinking about durability. We're just saying like if you had like 3 exercises, you just need to develop raw explosiveness. These will probably do it. This would probably do it if you just picked some of these. I wouldn't suggest picking some of these. Progressive overload is really important in strength and in plyometrics, but just by itself, it's decent. I think it's okay. This is not how you would see a program. You're not going to see all high level, high intensity plyometrics. I would not program this. Do not pick these exercises and just tomorrow just do all these for 3 sets of 20. I'm not going to get rep ranges for these because I don't want people just to pick exercises and start doing them. So I'm not giving sets and reps. But generally, if you do pick these, lower reps is better. You want to be fresh. You want to be explosive. You want high rest in between sets. We're not grinding. When we're trying to develop explosiveness, it's about high rest, high intensity, right? So you don't want to do reps to failure. You don't want to do 30 band resisted jumps because you're just going to develop slow twitch fibers. You want to develop fast twitch fibers, and that's only comes from being fresh. Do not pick these exercises and just do them. You need a program. If you're like, what do? I have a free workout that pairs a lot of these exercises and also the strength movements too, not just all the S pluses, the strength movements and the calf raises and all, even maybe low-key one of these type of shitty ass exercises together, and actually put it into a well-balanced science-based program to get you durable, strong, and explosive at the most effective weight possible. If you pick all these exercises, you will get explosive, but you also get injured very fast. It's too aggressive. It's way too aggressive. It's too harsh on the body. Besides 5v5 basketball, that's why it's number one. These two are harsh on the body, but you could do it so much that it makes it so good. Like you could do this like crazy, but these are also really, really potent on the X. That's actually such a great way to explain it. Oh my God. These are really good, right? The bounding and hurdle hops and the def jumps, all these variations are really fucking good for jumping higher and running faster, but they're so harsh on the body, you can't spam them. You can spam this. You can play 5v5 every day. You can sprint every day. You really can. You can jump every day with a goal until you get tired. You could do not all these. You could do these like the top 5 every single day. But the second you start going lower, these are still really good. Like they're honestly the same as this, but you can't do them every day. You will get injured. You will hurt yourself eventually. Overuse injuries will come. Tears will come. Tears might not come when you play basketball every day. Tears probably won't come when you sprint every day, unless you're really fast. You're on like 10-4. Then you shouldn't be sprinting every day. But if you're slow, you could low-key sprint every day. You could low-key jump every day. You can't jump high. Second you start jumping high, you probably need to cut back. There you go. Cool. Hope you guys enjoyed. Check out Just Jamar. Check out my Instagram. I'm a high-level coach who's trained a lot of good guys. Right, trained some 10.4 guys. I know what I'm talking about. Excuse me. I hope this helped. Check out my programs in the bio. And go watch one of these videos right here if I make this into a video. Shit. That went well. That was kind of cool. Did that go well? Was that decent? I feel like that was like low-key kind of fire. Hold on, let me put the music back on. That was kind of fire. Was that decent? Was that like low-key kind of like some vibes? Hold up. Sorry, I'm probably trying to put some music on. 10 out of 10 recommend. Dude, okay. Let's I'm gonna read some of these. I'm gonna read the chat a little bit. I think that was kind of cool. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. What would parkour? Oh, that's actually a great question. Where would parkour free running place on this? S plus, the bottom of S plus, but really good. Actually, the top of S. The top of S. Great idea. I got a great idea. It's probably be pulling back your band to consistent to straight leg bounds. Resisted straight leg bounds are good too. I put them in the bottom of S. I love what you're doing for everyone. Ain't no way calf raises are better than hip thrusts. Yes, calf raises are very, very important because the ankle is the foundation to strength, right? So that's what I should have probably mentioned that, but the ankle is the foundation of athleticism. Strength is not. That's a complete misconception. People who don't actually train people and understand like athleticism and biomechanics and how actually like how the tendon works and the stress shortening cycle works. Your ankle is the foundation to your athleticism, not your deep squat strength or your hip thrust strength or your split squat strength. It's always going to be the ankle. Any good coach, top level coach, will always say the ankle. Like there is some science to back it up, but I promise you, talk to any top level coach, people who actually train pro guys, is always the ankle. So that's why calf raises and skips and jump rope will always go above hip thrust. Hang cleans better than power cleans because there's less technique requirement. Yeah, if I put power cleans above hang cleans, I meant vice versa. That might have been an accident. Hang cleans are better than power cleans. I really didn't rank everything correctly. Like, I didn't really focus on ranking that much. I might have did it fast, but hang cleans are better than power cleans for sure. Will there be a video recapping all the exercises? Yep. I'm gonna cut it all up. So there's gonna be like a lot of dead portions where I'm not talking, I'm thinking, and I'm looking at chat. I'm gonna cut all that up into a better video. But if you hypertrophy the muscle while also training and sprinting in pivos, when the fibers that were increased in size have more output, more force than before increased size? So that's a good question. I'm trying to think of how to word it correctly, but the best way I can explain it so it's not confusing, because I get where you're coming from, is eventually there's diminishing returns, right? So it's natural to think, what if I just get muscle bigger and muscle gets stronger and faster, then it's better. But what happens when getting that extra pound of muscle, because remember, newbie gains are important. So you build muscle very easily. A simple deep squat as a newbie, like a beginner, 0 to 2 years, you're going to just boom, muscle. But the second it starts getting harder, and especially if you're training, you know what I'm talking about, it starts getting much harder to build muscle. That extra pound of muscle could be, what if you gain 1 pound of muscle, but you gain 1 point in muscle, but you lost 2 points in athleticism because of compensation or because of poor motor unit recruitment. You have to also think about co-contractions, concentric timing. So the timing you actually produce force, right? All these things are really high level science stuff that's like no one really understands what it means. But once you start thinking of, like, to answer your question, it's about co-contractions. It's about the rate of force development. It's about motor unit recruitment. The timing matters, right? The speed matters. So we just keep putting on muscle. Yeah, like you would get some benefits, but then the decreases in the most important things for athleticism. You're losing 3 points. You're getting 1 point in hypertrophy. It's not worth it. It becomes not worth it. Bandit penultimates, that's a technique drill. Turn this into a video. Yeah, it's gonna be a video. Bandit penultimates is a technique drill. It's not for explosiveness. Turn this to a video too. Nope, for sure. Progressing the exercise had my knees a lot stronger, and I had pain since. Saying it only causes knee pain is true if you don't follow correct progressions. Yeah, I think I said if you're a couch potato, it's not bad. And if you progress it correctly. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I understand. If you have correct progressions, that's cool. But in a vacuum by itself, it's F tier. Like every exercise was a vacuum by itself. If you just do the exercise randomly, it's F tier. It's never F tier just to play 5v5 basketball randomly. If you're a couch potato, you go play 5v5, maybe, yeah, you need to load manage correctly. You can't just hop into it for 2 hours, but it's great. It's amazing for your body. But just doing a KOT, any of their KOT lunges or squats, just day one, full range of motion, especially if you have knee pain, you're just asking for trouble. It's too much compression on the knee. Way too much compression. How many times a week should I train ankle mobility as a basketball player? Like 2 to 3. You don't need to do it every single day. What's your opinion on movement stacks? Really good. Moving like every hour is really important. Post this as a video, please. I will. Haha. Ellie, the KOT squats in F. I like that. MC Stone, what a name. Pro tip, use Coach's Eye for timing. Yeah, you can use Coach's Eye, but you can also just use your phone. Like, where's my phone? I'm really just going to show you guys. It's so simple. You really don't need to spend $10 for Coach's Eye. Where's my phone? Oh, here. Like, you think I'm trolling when, like, literally all... Damn. Why am I getting charged so much? So, like, literally, I'm going to show you guys right here. So, right here, you have you have a video, right? You have a video. You click edit. You don't need to spend $10 to do this. And when you do this, you see this? There's milliseconds here. There's milliseconds here. And all you gotta do is do the calculator. So the second you move, let's say it's at 0.20, all right? And then when you cross the cone, you cross the cone at 1.8. You subtract 1.8 by 0.20. There you go. Like, you don't need to spend $10 for that. Overuse isolation in my past caused muscle imbalances. Overusing isometrics caused muscle imbalances, which cause injury. If you meant isometrics, that's just cap. Isometrics' number one benefit is reducing compensation. MJ LeBron, I go MJ. I'm sorry. I just can't remember anything. Just rewatch the video. It'll be up. How can you use resistance sprints for top speed work? Is quarter squats best? Quarter squats or full squats best for baseball hitting power? I probably would say full squats because you're getting more glute in the full squat. And then for resisted sprints, top end speed, you could do like resisted bounds, right? Or resisted 10-meter flies, are all pretty good. I would put those 2 exercises, like those variations, in S plus. Or I'll put in S. I'm sorry. Oh, I forgot to ask, what do you think of Bulgarian split squats? It's the same thing as a single leg squat. You're just putting up a foot, and it's more specific. It's a single leg squat's less. I don't like. Okay, Bulgarian split squat is like, it's like just as good as a deep squat. It's probably worse than deep squat because of the balance. Like stability is so bad that you can't even really build good strength there. Like, it's really dangerous. When you could do a Smith machine single leg squat or a dumbbell single leg squat, it's way safer. You're getting the exact same benefits. Do you have any recommendations on how to train the day before a basketball game? I think that's what you're trying to say. How to athletically prepare. You need to sleep and you need to eat healthy. Don't eat like a potato on the day before, or else you're going to feel on the day of. And also, don't be afraid to train. Like, there's nothing wrong with training. Like, a basketball day, like a game of basketball, you're playing for like 10 minutes? You're playing, like, let's say you get 20 minutes in a basketball game. That's 2 5v5 basketball games. Like, if you just pulled up to a basketball court, you just did 5v5. Would you still lift after you did 5v5 or before? Yes, right? You would do deep squats the day you did 5v5 basketball because it's just training. That's the same thing as a basketball game. Even if it's the playoffs, you're still only playing for 20 minutes. Like, think about it. You're playing basketball for 20 minutes. It's 5v5 basketball. So you should just keep lifting and training like you normally would. There's no reason to change anything. It's not like it's just like specific exercise or training that's so difficult on the body. It's the same thing as 5v5. You're just doing it with a coach. Jumping every day is the best thing you can do for yourself with strength exercises. I wouldn't do it on top of strength training. If your goal is to dunk, like, I have a dunk program in Just Jump. Like, Just Jump is a vertical jump program, but I also have if your only goal is dunking, like you just want to get your first dunk off, my dunk program consists of like a progressive overload of dunk sessions and dunk volume, and then also just full range of motion strength training. Like, it's really basic, but it's honestly a great way to just get your first dunk off. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Great tier list. I appreciate it. Will there be a video recapping the exercises? Yep. What's your thoughts on movement snacks? You should do them. Yeah, you should move every hour. That's really good. And also walk like 5 to 10K steps a day. I already answered a lot of these. Oh no, I didn't. Resisted sprints for top end speed, and I answered this. C skips, they're trash. What's deceleration in sprinting? After 6 seconds of sprinting, you decelerate naturally. It's impossible for you to produce anaerobic power after 6 seconds. Physically impossible, right? So you're going to decelerate. And also just biomechanically, you're going to have deceleration angles. So that's all it is, right? So the last 50 meters of a sprint, you're probably going to decelerate. And if people are accelerating in time, it's just how they distribute energy, right? It's momentum. It's not them getting faster. It's physically impossible, right? So I hope that I don't really get what you're trying to say, but yeah. How should we go about balancing different exercises? That's a hard question. Programming is complicated. I don't know if you really paid attention to everything I was talking about. I was being very careful with the way I worded my words during that tier list because it's complicated. It all depends. It's really, really complicated. Look at Black Clover main character workout and sprints do jumps is ass. Is what? Huh? Is there a pro golf for a little back? I have pain because of some impact I absorbed there. I would say my first cure for low back pain is walk 5 to 10K steps a day and get some better sleep. If you're walking 5 to 10K steps a day, that removes all the sitting you're doing. And if you're sitting too much, you're probably going to get low back pain. If you have bad biomechanics, then walking with barefoot would fix a lot of that biomechanics naturally, right? And poor biomechanics is usually how you get back pain, right? Like a posterior tilt, you're bending your spine too much, stuff like that, compressing it too much. So you need to walk and you need to hang on like a bar, do like a pull up and just hang there. Try to get 3 to 5 minutes a day. You'd be surprised how just naturally things will just clean up. Do you think I should still do the Speed Academy until the track season starts or do my high school coach's program? By the way, we do a lot of intensive tempo. So for the Speed Academy, I'm actually going to show you guys. I finished the app. So I know you guys, right now the Speed Academy is a little bit complicated and it's not the greatest program in the world, and I really wanted a better product. So I spent a lot of money to work with the app developer to make a new Speed program, all right? A new Speed Academy. Everyone who already paid for Speed Academy is a part of the membership right now. You're going to get this program. But I kind of want to show you guys some new stuff I added. So the Speed Academy, instead of getting 1 month at a time, you're going to get the whole thing at one time, right? So you get all 12 weeks at one time. And then I also added an in-season program. Before I had in-season mods for every sport, but I don't think people really liked it. Instead, I made a full-fledged in-season program. Right? A 4-month program. Oh, shit. I need to close this. Okay. I shouldn't have showed that, but it's fine. A full-fledged in-season program, right? You only saw week 1, and every week changes anyway, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, it's a full 16-week in-season program. So if you're on a Speed Academy, you should do that, right? So if you're in season, no matter what sport it is a very, very applicable general speed program that's good for anyone in season. We cut back on the volume, raised the intensity, changed up some of the exercises so people wouldn't get injured, changed some stuff out. It's perfect. I am 14. I run 11.85 in 100 meters. Is that good, or do you think I can become faster? I mean, of course you can become faster. Is it good? I mean, I wouldn't say it's bad or good. I know 14. Fuck. Where did I go? I lost myself. Fuck. Where am I? Hello? Okay, I'm back. I won't say it's bad or good. Bro's always leaking stuff. It's fine. You guys didn't see anything. You just saw like week 1. It's not really gonna do anything. Yeah, there's like so I knew a kid when he was 14 that was running 10.8. So it depends. Right? I knew a kid who's 13 running 10.8. So like obviously you're not like top in the nation, but you can always get there. Like there's people who run 12 seconds as a freshman and then they come in senior year and run 10.4. You know, I've seen it happen. It's very possible. It's very normal. I am a W leaker though. I'm a crazy leaker. That shit's insane. Has to be leaking shit. Oh fuck, man, that was a good tier list. Loki kind of tired me out. Like I'm Loki like actually kind of burnt. Ew, I looked so ugly back then. I was looking at myself from like 3 years ago. Like, I'm looking tired. That was a lot. I had a lot of energy. I'm glad I'm streaming. I thought I wasn't streaming for a second. My heart dropped. Not re-recording that. Do you think I should do the Speed Academy? The Speed Academy program? It's currently my off season and it's concluded AAU club season. I run. Oh, of course. If you're off season, there's absolutely no reason not to do a Speed program. Especially the new app comes out next week. Like you can hop on it right now and you'll get the email for the app. It's not perfect right now. You get on Train Heroic still and Teachables, but yeah, of course, do the speed program. Marcel's Moore. Yeah, Marcel's Moore. He ran I think he ran like 10.7 and 10.8 as a 13-year-old. So and we lived by each other. We had the same coach for a little while. How to get faster in the last 100 of the 400. You need to improve speed endurance. Look into that. Our speed skater is good. I talked about it in the tier list. Everyone gets it as the same. Yeah, everyone gets it as a goal, not at the same time. Yeah. What's your opinion on falling concept and good drills push? Are you talking about that guy who does good drills and falling? No. I think it's a terrible concept. If falling... If all that mattered in acceleration was falling, then the heaviest person would be the fastest because of gravity. Gravity's constant, right? So whoever the heaviest person that is an athlete would be the fastest person because gravity momentum. But it's falling isn't how you run faster. You have to produce force down and back. So that's why I'll use the word fat, but really heavy linemen who do not run 4.4. It's because falling is trash. That's not how speed works. You have to produce force. In general, his whole page is bullshit anyways. I actually bought his program because I just wanted to see if it was good. Like I was like, does he know what he's talking about? Let me see. And I checked it out. It was terrible. It was complete garbage. Not to hate on him. It's just complete fact. I'm not going to show the program. It was low quality. It was lazy. The exercise selection was terrible. The programming was terrible. The good drills guy, whoever his name is, I don't even know his fucking name. Good drills guy, the guy who's like always doing the falling stuff and like the stuff where he's like you do like the box jump 3-pointers, like you jump off a box and do a 3-pointer, do like a 360 3-pointers, like that guy who does the drills, the shooting drills. This shit's ass. Like I literally bought it just to see, and it was terrible. And also like his page, like the content is trash. Like it's good content. Like people are like, oh my god, drill, yay, drill. But drills don't improve you. Exercises don't improve you. It's programming. You need to know how to fucking program and principles, training principles. I'm kind of old school in that matter. Like I don't think the new one drill doesn't improve you. The only 2 drills that improve you is 5v5 basketball and max effort sprinting and max effort jumping. So only 3 things. But like just doing a def jump doesn't make you jump higher. Just doing a deep squat doesn't make you explosive. You have to do a whole duration of programming. Progressive overload. Right? Max intense. Not random drills. Save this drill for your next workout. Like if anyone says that, just block them. Just unfollow them. What's your thoughts on Matthew Bowling? Good spinner. Don't have any thoughts on him. I think he's smart. I think in sprinting, they make such little money. Like sprinting is such a terrible sport, like track and field. Like the athletes get paid so little that monetizing your social media is the most important thing. Like yeah, you need to be fast, but imagine if you're just really good at social media and you're like top 20 instead of being number 2. And social media does make you slower. It's not like you're wasting so much time on social media that you're not getting faster. Like he's as fast as he possibly can be. All right. I think his college coach is kind of mid because he was getting consistently fast in high school, and then he went to college and he started having issues because training is different. Right. Like whoever was his coach in high school, like his dad or whatever, whoever did it, like clearly it's much better. PJF had smoked him. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, I remember PJF making a video about the good drills guy. He explained it a little bit better than I did, but it's all about gravity, right? Like the heaviest person would move the fastest if falling was the only important thing for acceleration, right? The people who weigh the most would it would just completely negate force production, which is like one of the most foundational things to like moving. You have to produce force to move. You know, you can't even stand if you're not producing force. Sonic Dash on mobile. Obviously, carbs fuel fast twitch. What do you think about playing basketball on fast if you hit a carb goal the day before? I would never fast and do any athletic activity, even if you hit your carbs the day before. Like if you overloaded carbs and then try to fast the next day, I would never try to play. People can do it. Like you've seen like Kyrie fast during the playoffs or during the end of the basketball season, completely fast, like not eat food and play basketball. Like it's possible, but I wouldn't suggest it. It's very dangerous. What about court stuff? Court stuff? Are you talking about like his basketball drills? Yeah, like I just it's just a waste of money. Oh, Bobby White and Coach Ross. That's what their names are. Yeah, like I've bought both their programs. I've paid for every single top coach's program. I know what everyone's program looks like. Nathaniel Morton's, PJF's. They're not top coaches, but Bobby White, Coach Ross, Overtime Athletes. Who else is top? Like you can literally name anyone. I've bought it. Right? I've spent all the money completely just to see if it's good. Does this person know what you're talking about? Is there some stuff I can learn from this? Some things I can implement? And they're terrible. It's a terrible product. It's lazy. It's just a random ass PDF. Terrible exercise selection. Terrible programming. Terrible training principles. It's just terrible. I'm not trying to shit on people. It's just complete facts. I'm sorry. Like if you don't want me to spit facts, make a better product. Like actually know what you're talking about. I don't know. I think their basketball drills are okay though. Like I know I just hated on some of them, but there's some that I get the concept, so I'm not gonna hate on everything. There's some of the like the adjusting in the air shooting stuff where you have to like do the 360 jumps and then adjust in the air and hit the shot. I actually really like that. And some of the concepts of where they talk about like you have to compete, like to dunk you need to dunk. Like I agree with that. Like that's completely facts. Like to dunk you need to dunk, or you need to do challenging jumps, like up and under layups and like 360 layups to challenge your vertical jump. Like that's true. I agree with that. But as programs in the concept, I just don't like it. I just think it's bullshit. So maybe I was a little too harsh on them, but whatever. I'm just bipolar, I guess. Like I don't fucking know. Run 53.37 in the 4, but 24. What should I work on? Speed. You need to run faster. You're just not fast enough. You need to be running 22. Just get faster. When is the knees over toes guy stream coming? I need to prepare for it. Like I want to do it, but it's hard, bro. Like I want to do it, but the thing is, like if I were to do a presentation, like a very formal presentation, it's gonna be really boring to watch. But then if I just rant, I'm going to miss a lot of context and not get my point off correctly, because I'm very bad when I rant. When I rant, I sound like a dumbass. I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. Just because I don't know. I'm just bad at ranting, right? So if I just rant about it, it's not going to go off well. I'm not going to explain my point well. But if I do a presentation, I just feel like it's kind of boring. But it would be kind of cool to me. Like, I'd find it funny, you know? So you can play 5v5 basketball and do your regular workouts at the same day. If you're doing like just jump, I would do basketball maybe like once or twice a week. But it just depends. And like, if you do like 1 or 2 workouts, let's say you do just jump, like it's 3 days a week. If you do 1 of the workouts or 2 of the workouts out the week, and then do 5v5 basketball like 3 or 4 times out the week, or 5 times, you could make that work. Maybe cut back on the volume a little bit, but it could work. Yeah, good drills is cringe as fuck. It's just bullshit. Like, once you could finally let go that, I know I just made a whole exercise tier list, but once you could let go that drills and exercises in a vacuum don't improve you, you realize that a lot of these coaches don't know what they're talking about. If you watch my videos, all my Instagram videos, even the short form content where I'm fishing for views, like I'm trying to get views, that's the point of short form content. I always talk about training principles, not exercises, because exercises don't improve you, right? It's like, if you want to improve at the bench press, one, you need to bench press, but guess what? There's other things on top of it, and progressive overload and max intent that go into it. That's why the bench press works. It's not the exercise by itself. It's the principle of the bench press. You're lifting as hard as possible, that's max intent, and you're adding weight every single workout. That's why your bench press improves, and that's why your chest gets bigger, right? But if you don't apply principles to exercises, then there's no point of exercise. You won't improve. So when someone's just like, try this drill to jump higher, and it's just a random drill or 3 random drills, do this plyometric workout to jump higher, and just random low intensity drills, they don't know what they're talking about. That's why Plyometric doesn't know what he's talking about. Bobby White, he be capping sometimes. The good drills, like those are a lot of them. Some of them are okay, but a lot of them are bullshit. That one dude from Bradley Martin's videos, the athletic guy, he doesn't know what he's talking about. They're just doing random low intensity exercises that have no training principles. They're just exercises. If you do one exercise in a vacuum, it does not improve you. Like, I will say that shit till the day I die. It's literal fact. How to improve deceleration? Do a lot more like reaction agility. So defending someone, dribbling against somebody, right? Where you have to decelerate. W. Jamar, keep me real. No, I appreciate it. Overtime's athlete a fraud? No. I named all those people. I think overtime athletes is good. Nathaniel's good. PGF is good. Who else is pretty common? KP strength is okay. I don't agree with all of it. He does a little too much fun contrast for me, but it's okay. Who else is like a popular trainer? You can just name trainers. I'll tell you if they're good or not. Like, trust me, I literally bought everyone's stuff, and who's the worst popular trainer out there? Plyometric. He's bigger. Definitely Plyometric. He has like, I think the most followers out of all of us, like out of the main core of people. Because I'm definitely not as big as Plyometric. Plyometric has like 300K. I have like 140. Like, I'm not as big as him, but he's complete garbage. He's completely terrible. Like, he's literally a 1 out of 10. He has no idea what he's talking about. I mean, I'll give him a 3 out of 10 because he promotes plyometrics over just like mindless strength training. So I'll give him a 3, but 3 is terrible. That's really bad. You want to put your trust in someone who's a 3 out of 10? What the fuck? Or even a 4? It's terrible. Overtime athlete's not fraud. You know what he's talking about. What do you think of PGF's programs? They're good. How to improve core stability? I think core stability is a little bit overrated. Is tendon elasticity the missing link for faster 1 and 2 speed? Yes. It is a big missing link. How much do glutes play a role in jumping higher, and what are some exercises training glutes? They're really important for 2-foot jumps and even 1-foot jumps. I think the best exercises just be like single leg hip thrusts, like isometrics too. You need to learn how to activate the glute. It's not really about like, can I just force up 400 pounds in a hip thrust with my back? It's like, no, can you activate the glute? Right? That's like one of the most important things. And then like to train the glutes in a powerful way, it'd be like med ball throws, broad jumps, like resisted sprints and stuff like that. Do you think intensive tempo is needed for sprinters or just speed endurance? Just speed endurance. And maybe extensive. You don't even need extensive tempo. Bobby White's vert is 28 inches. Like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, bro. Like, you have people selling vertical jump programs and their vertical jump is like 28 inches. They don't like the same thing with Plyometric. If you guys were in my, you said it. Yeah. We were in my stream yesterday and we looked at Plymorph. He said he had a 50-inch vertical jump, but he jumped next to a 30-inch box and his feet didn't go above the 30-inch box. Literally standing next to, like, common sense people, standing next to a 30-inch box, his feet didn't go above it. And he said he had a 50-inch vertical jump. Like, people are just literally lying for money, physically lying. And then Bobby White, he's, you know, selling vertical. But I will say, the one thing I will say about Bobby White is he has a lot of athletes who can dunk. Like, it is true. Like, the people he trains with in person can dunk. Like, they do have results. Like, they're good basketball players. So I'm not just going to hate, because I am being a little, like, negative right now. But, like, they can dunk, right? They can dunk. They can play a little bit. I've seen some of them, like, dribble and, like, shoot. Like, they could play. So his athletes in person do decent. I just think the content is just bad. That's all. I think it's just lazy content. Sonic and Dragon Ball have similarity. Trunks is like Silver, Shadow is like Vegeta. That's facts. That's facts. That's facts. Sonic is pretty much like, I think Sonic's more like Goku. They're really similar. They hit their Super Saiyan form, shit like that. Similar concept of like their philosophies. Kind of like just don't give a fuck about anything and they just want to do what the fuck they want, right? Like all Goku wants to do is just fight and that's the only thing he cares about. And then Sonic just wants to fucking be free. He doesn't want any restrictions on his life. Just want to do shit. Thoughts on opinions on Caesar's stuff in programming. Are you talking about Sprint Project? Is that who Caesar is? Can guy 5'11", 135 pounds run fast, or you need to put more muscle? You don't need to put more muscle. Just run. There's literally like, I know a guy who's 150, right? 150 and 5'8". He runs 10.2. He actually might be like 145. Right? And this has nothing to do with his muscle, right? You don't need to put on muscle. Like you'll put on muscle by training correctly. If you do strength training at least twice a week and you sprint consistently, you will build muscle. Plyometrics also build muscle. In case you guys didn't know, it's not optimal like hypertrophy training, but it still builds muscle. I've been doing plyometrics exercises. THP is good. Okay, yeah, THP, they're good. I wouldn't say they're the best. They focus a little bit too much on strength training. They do have results, but also like quantify results. Like look at context. Like Isaiah Rivera technically is a THP athlete, but Isaiah Rivera also already had a 42-inch or 44-inch vertical jump when he joined him. So he did not take him. So the main coach, did not take Isaiah Rivera from 30 inches to 50. He was already at like 45. So it's also like, so remember that. And then also the programming is heavy strength based. Jared Emanuel is the guy. Yeah, he's just as bad as Plymorph. They're literally, no, he's better than Plymorph. He's a 5 out of 10. Because I've heard him talk a couple times. He kind of knows what he's talking about, but he just copies other people. I remember he made a video about like a vertical jump workout, and he like word for word was copying what PJF was saying. It all it was. Like it wasn't terrible, but he was just copying someone else, right? And it was low-key kind of ass, but it's okay. It just wasn't terrible. Garage strength is decent. TBH and garage strength, they're decent. I just think they're too strength focused. And we also have to remember that THP strength got Isaiah Rivera when he already jumped 45 inches. But he doesn't really talk about it. I listen to a lot of stuff and I look for his stuff for some answers sometimes. We gotta remember some context. That's all I'm trying to say. Yeah, Jared Emanuel, L. But he's a 4 out of 10. Like if Plymorph's like a 2 out of 10, he's a 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be real. I'm being negative today, so fuck it. If someone clips me and they see it, fuck it. Tony Holler is a great coach. I actually like met him in person. Like I went to Plainfield East and he went to Plainfield North. He was a coach at Plainfield North. Akada Fitness. Who's Akada Fitness? Core stability is overrated because like you don't need to train it individually, right? Core stability comes from just sprinting. Like the core has to be stable in sprinting. Who's Akada Fitness, bro? Akada Fitness Instagram. Oh, Acadian Fitness? Oh, this is not Acadian. This is not who you're talking about. Never mind. I don't even fucking know. Core stability, your core is stable from any exercise you do. If you squat, your core stability is being trained. If you sprint, core stability is being trained. Your jumps, core stability is being trained. You don't need to train it individually. I guess you can. Like you do some core like anti-rotation, but you don't like need to do that. It's not necessary. And you can do that through power-off presses. If you're trying like banded power-off presses, look it up. All right. Is tendon elasticity most important for short sprint speed? No. Tendon elasticity is more important for max velocity. Best conditioning exercise for basketball is 5v5 basketball. I'm not trolling. And 1v1 full court basketball. Yeah, Caesar is sprint project. We've worked together on some couple things, so I don't have anything to say. All I'm gonna say is he's learning right now, right? So like he's learning a lot. So he's in the learning process. That's all I'll say. in terms of like learning information about sprinting. But we work together. He's a great person. Garage Strength and Rick B. I don't know who Rick B is, but Garage Strength is fine. He's just way too heavy on strength. Like, he is in love with power cleans and hit clings and Olympic lifts for jumping higher, and he does not promote a lot. Like, he promotes plyometrics, but like strength comes first to him. Like, strength is priority, and I just don't agree with that concept. I think plyometrics will always be priority. How high above the rim do I need to dunk? You need to get. I'm pretty sure it's the wrist. The wrist has to be above the rim. Like, if you can get your entire hand into the rim, you should be able to dunk off a lob. You might need to be very, like, perfect on the timing. Someone might be able to correct me. Wait, you said Jared's Emmanuel's program is the links to his TikToks? Please send it to me. Oh, my God, send it to me. Or I'll pay for it. I don't care. But, like, if you have it, send it to me. I need to make fun of this. I need to break this down. That's so bad, bro. The number one thing about, and this is something I think I lack in, is if you get my programs, you need to be very, very, and this is for business, anyone who cares about business, the product needs to be better than anything. You need to over deliver, right? When I made Just Jump and Just Sprint, I wasn't very happy with the product. I wasn't happy with Just Sprint because I didn't have a lot of resources and did not have a lot of money to afford like app development. Now I make way more than enough money to afford app development, but at the time I did not have enough money. So I had to do Google Docs. And then once I got more money, I was able to do Train Heroic. But now I have a very good amount of money. So I actually have a full-fledged app for Just Sprint, Just Jump, and the Speed Academy. But because I didn't have the money at the time when I first dropped the program, it was on Google Docs, and a little of it, and Just Jump was on Train Heroic. And that made me feel like I had a terrible product. When you have a terrible product, look how people talk about you. Like, it's just like what you said. Bro, Jared Emmanuel's program, deadass just links to his TikTok. Telling people, hey, this program sucks because it's so lazily done, that ruins your reputation. So it's like one of my biggest flaws, I feel like, is that because I didn't have the money at the time, which now I do and everything's fixed. Next week, everything will be on the app. Because I didn't have the money at the time, I feel like I ruined my reputation a little bit because I feel like I had an amazing program and I did over deliver because I gave I think I had like 20 bonuses, like bonus guides and like extra programs in Just Jump and Just Sprint alone. But I think because it just being on a Google Doc just made it feel so lazy. I just didn't have the money for it at the time. But everything's fixed now. We have the program on the apps, and the apps are coming out next week, and I'm very happy. But that is very sad. Copy paste the link to his Insta. Yeah, paste the link here. Yeah, and send me the program. I just want to see it. Like, I don't fucking need it. Clearly, I know what I'm doing. I think it's fucking hilarious. I actually think it's hilarious. It literally just links to his TikToks. That's lazy. That's more lazy than me. That's lazy. That's lazy. Do you know the movement system? Yeah, movement system is okay. Talks about movement a lot. Thoughts on Olympic lifts? I think they're a little bit overrated. I talked about it in the tier list a lot, though. Like, I broke it down. I wasn't just like a lazy response. Burnout, I just don't have the energy for it. How to get faster with shorter sprints? Is it mainly just explosiveness? Shorter sprints is usually what you want to do. Because I remember if you were in here during the tier list, I talked about peak velocity, which is like a really complicated concept where you actually hit peak velocity very early. So you don't really need to be doing long sprints as your sprint training. You should honestly be sticking to under 30 meters. Because if you're already hitting peak velocity at like 20 meters, 20 yards, then why would you sprint for 40 if you're just developing slow twitch fibers? If you're already running slower than your max velocity. So I actually think shorter sprints are usually better in higher sets, obviously, because you want to hit a certain amount of volume to get a stimulus. Matthew Bowling, what about Matthew Bowling? How to fix feet landing in front of you when running? There's nothing wrong with that. It's natural to the gait cycle. Oh, but you mean like landing in front of you in terms of like you're overextending? You need to do switch drills and wicket sprints. And resisted sprints will help too. Hill sprints helps a lot. Yeah, send the link to his Instagram. I want people to see who I'm talking about. Jared Emmanuel is the guy who's like, if you're an athlete between 18 and 36 years old and you're not doing plyometrics, you're disappointing me and you're a failure. And then he does like, here are 6 plyometric exercises to completely transform your vertical jump and athleticism. And he does like 6 low intensity exercises for 10 reps. And remember, when you do low intensity exercises, it's supposed to be extensive. High reps, high sets. And then when you do high intensity exercises, it's supposed to be low reps. So he does low intensity exercises for low reps and then high intensity exercises for high reps. What the fuck? Like, literally doesn't know what he was doing. But he's one of those people. The same shit as Pyomorph. How to progressive overload plyometric training for example, broad jumps, drop jumps. I'm sorry to give you this answer, but to break down progressive overload for plyometrics would legit take me an hour. And it's too complicated for me to break down. I progressive overload every plyometric, but it is like, we're not talking about basic progressive overload. We're talking about periodization at this point, and that's just no point to be talking about periodization when that's just not the audience, right? I'm sorry. Yeah, I'd be talking about like periodization, not like progressive overload for plyometrics is a periodization conversation. The block training, like blocks and shit like that. You know, accumulation phase, intensification, peaking, realization phases, like that type of shit. It's way too complicated for me just to like give out basic answers. How to train speed endurance. Think about sprinting for longer distances for max intensity. So if you want to improve your 200 meter, sprint 200 meters at max intensity and then wait. Don't do like a tempo workout where you do 200 meters at 70%, go 100%, and then sit there for 6 to 7 minutes and then do it again until your time drops off by like 5% or 10%. You can actually go a little bit higher in the percentage. Go like 10% drop off. Who do you think the best coach on social media is? I think the content I'm making right now doesn't make me I think I'm such a good question. I think in terms of who's making the best content on social media right now, who's the smartest and who's making the best content is two different things. I think who's making the best content is either me or PJF. I think who's the smartest is like a 3-way tie right now. Like, it's so hard to because honestly, I'm not gonna lie, there's coaches who are smarter than me, PJF, Overtime Athletes, Les Spellman, but they literally have like 1,000 followers. They don't know how to make content. So it's so hard to objectify who's smarter, who knows what they're talking about. I wouldn't say anyone's better than anyone, honestly. Like, it's hard to say who's the best. I could tell you who's bad. James Charles, oh, you're wilding. Definitely not James Charles. I wouldn't say anyone's bad or good. Like, I think we're all just pretty equal, right? It's hard to say, you know? How to fix landing flat-footed when sprinting. You like, it's honestly kind of normal. I think people over-tune flat feet. You can land flat feet. It's perfectly fine. You should land maybe 4-foot-ish, but you can land flat feet, especially if it's under your body. Like, if you're landing under your center of mass, you're fine. But your reputation is good. Your variable knowledge ain't gonna PR next season. Yeah, no. In terms of my reputation, like, I feel like it's good because I get results. At the end of the day, like, if you do my program and you stick to it for the full 4 months, you will get results. I've produced way too many results to ever second guess that. It's like a complete fact. You will get faster and jump higher by a significant amount, a noticeable amount. I just think the presentation was kind of lazy, or not lazy, but like just below average. But I fixed it all. I think it's gonna be amazing. The new app's gonna be so cool. What do you think about Mr. Doing It movement and Carl Performance, Curry's trainer? Carl Performance is okay. One thing I'll say is, like, just because someone's like training a pro athlete doesn't automatically make them the best. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying, just remember this. Like, if someone's training a pro athlete, that's because of opportunity, right? So, like, if I met Steph Curry, I'd be his trainer. If I met him first, I'd be his trainer because he would know me and be like, oh, you know what you're talking about, and you're the first person I met. So usually people who, especially at a pro level, they usually just meet people like in person, like locally, and they're like, yeah, I'm a trainer. And they're like, oh yeah, train me. You know what you're talking about, just train me. So that, like, if you see someone who trains a pro athlete, it doesn't automatically make them the best. It just means that they had the opportunity to meet that person. Right? So always remember that. I'm not saying he's bad or good. And Mr. Doing It movement, I think, is a fucking genius. I love his shit. He trains a lot of NBA athletes, but he's a genius. Like, he truly doesn't know what he's doing. There's some things that I think are like kind of a waste of time, but I can see why he does it. He does a lot of like movement quality things that I just think are a little bit just excessive. But other than that, I think it's okay. And he's a little bit, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying my opinion. He's a little like soft on the plyometrics, right? He's a little more reserved with how he does his exercises, like the plyometrics and strength training. And I think you could be a little more aggressive, a little more harsh on the body, but you could be a little more aggressive. Who is the GOAT of the NBA in your opinion? Michael Jordan. I can understand why people say LeBron. It's just all opinion at this point. There is no objective like answer. It's just flat out not objective. People try to make it objective, but it's not. It's too complex of a topic. So it's just who you like more at this point. Do I need to get faster at 1, 2, or 4? How do I get faster at the 1 or 2? Just get faster. People try to like, dude, this is low-key one thing that annoys me about track. When I was like very track heavy, like all I talked about track was like, how do I get faster at the 400? You need to get faster. The 400 is a full sprint. The 800 is a sprint. The only time it's not a sprint is above 800 meters. The 100 meter is a full-fledged sprint. You need to get faster. Your 40 yard needs to be this specific time. It's just that simple. 200 meters, you need to get to the 40 yard at a specific time. 400 meters, you need to be sprinting at a specific time in the 100 meter. Which all goes back to you need a fast 40 yard. Like, there is no other. People try to complicate it so much. Like, you need to, in the 400 meter, you need to sprint to the 200 meter, then turn at the curve and run at 75%, and then go 90% the first 50 of the last 100 meters, and then go 100% the last 50. But the first 100, you need to go 100%, and then the 100 to 150, you need to go 85%. And then once you go 85 at the before you hit the curve, you need to go to 100, and then go to 70, and then 75, and then 100 the last part. Like, you need to get faster. Can you get to the 300 meters at 34 seconds? At 33 seconds? Can you run 11 seconds 3 times? That's speed endurance. It's just that fucking simple. Run fucking faster, right? If you're slow at the 400, you're slow. Get faster. It's a sprint, right? I understand the science, but it's unnecessary unless you're at a top level. If you're not running sub 48, you don't need to worry about it. If you're not running sub 10.7, you don't need to worry about energy distribution and all these complex topics. You need to get faster. You're slow as shit, right? I'm not saying people's work isn't like, if you're running 11.2 and you're proud of that, like, that's cool. I'm happy, but it's still just not fast enough, right? So I think people just overcomplicate it. It's not your fault. It's not Max Food's fault. I'm just kind of ranting because when I was really heavy on track, people would just like, man, the questions I'd get, the specific questions I'd get, because people were just way too worried about that bullshit, bro. It's just really weird to me. But it has nothing to do with you. You're fine. I think PJF and Movement System recommend doing heavy eccentric calf raises. They're improving Achilles tendon strength, and tendon strength is the most important things for explosiveness. It's more for health. I do understand why. There is some research that proves that slow eccentrics can improve energy storage, which is really important for the stress shortening cycle. So it could be really good for like early phases of programming, but I wouldn't do it year round. But honestly, you can't do it year round. How long do you wait before a game? What do you mean wait for you before a game? Let's talk about who's more athletic, Ja, Kyrie, or Jalen Green. Low-key, I'd go Ja and Kyrie. I say Kyrie. I think Kyrie's one of the most athletic players in the game. Yo, that's the next fucking video. Okay, I don't have time to do it tonight, but tomorrow, we could do it tonight. Tomorrow, let's do a tier list on the most athletic NBA players in the league. Like, think of all the point guards, shooting guards, setters. Let's just do it. All right, y'all want to do that? Just tell me yes or no. Should we do a tier list of the most athletic players in the NBA? And we could also do the NFL, but I don't know NFL well, so I might get that wrong. But I know the NBA very well, so we could do that. How far do you think anyone can long jump? I'm not really sure. Which isometrics are basic? Everyone needs a foundational 90-degree lunge. If you can't hold that lunge, it's not even just about the tendon adaptations to the knee. It's about the position. The position is so foundational. My keyboard got too excited. Optimal timing for a game day and nutrition. I'm pretty sure it's 2 hours minimum and an hour. No, it's an hour minimum and then up to 2 hours. You should be eating carbs. Minimum is like you can drink carbs 30 minutes before, but you really should be doing an hour before for digestion and shit like that. I think all of them got different athleticism. Yeah, it's all different. Top 5 most athletic players currently. I don't know. My brain's too flat I might say something wrong. Which is the best split for athletes? There is no best split. I think it's like full body and then upper body 4 days a week. I think it's good. Mr. Doing is more injury prevention movement quality coach by the looks of it. Yeah, like I've looked into his stuff. I even bought some of his programs. It's just very he's just very reserved, if that makes sense. He cares about injury prevention, which obviously, look at NBA players. Do they need to get more athletic? No, right? So is he doing anything wrong? No, because most NBA players are already athletic enough. They don't need to get more athletic. They need to stay healthy. So I don't think he's wrong. I just think he's reserved. That's all. Like, obviously, he's a great coach. He knows exactly what he's talking about. Can someone who's hypermobile be explosive too? Hypermobile usually has to do with something you're doing. Like, you can get rid of your hypermobility. But yes, you can be explosive. It's very easy. Are split stands overhead presses good? Yeah, they're really good. Yes. So I should do, tomorrow we should do what we did today, but on exercises. So you guys want to do it with me? Like, we can name the players. You guys can help me find all the names, and then we could, like, put them all into a list. I think that's cool. It was fun. Like, you guys low-key helped a lot. I wouldn't have remembered all those exercises if you guys didn't help me. And it's funny because, like, I'm the one programming it, but I just forgot. It's hard unless I had more time. Do you think Usain Bolt's 100 meter or 200 meter record would be broken? I don't think the 200 meter. I think okay, let's look lie, because no allows is just for some reason consistently running faster. I think the 200 meter can. I don't know about the 100, but honestly the 100 meter can too. But I definitely think the 200 like no allows might crack that shit. And even if no allows doesn't, Aaron Knighton will. Aaron Knighton's fucking disgusting. I won't lie. He's fast. Yo, do check your DMs on Discord. Yeah, but you said you told me that you sent me the program on Discord. Someone sent me the program on Discord. Let's check that real quick. Actually, I don't want to put it on the I'm not gonna put it on the screen because shit is crazy. Is this you? Oh shit. 8. Okay, I'm not gonna put it on the screen. I'm just gonna read it out loud. Okay. This is the Jared guy. Do you guys know who Jared is? This is Jared. If you guys don't know who I'm talking about. This is Jared. This is if you're not doing plyometrics and you're between the age of 18 and 46 years old, then you are a disappointment. Ah, fuck. I need to put him up on YouTube. Man, he has... Oh, no. I thought he had... He's this guy. Hold on, I'm trying to... This guy. Can you guys see him? This is the guy we're talking about. I'm not going to show the program because, I don't know. Just... By the way, this exercise sucks. I see a lot of people doing this, and sometimes I use to promote it, but there's no load to the soleus. The soleus is one of the strongest pound for pound muscles in the entire body. Is the strongest pound for pound muscle, which means the only way you can load it heavy enough is with the seated calf raise and possibly like dumbbell seated raises, right? With like heavy 70+ pound dumbbells. If you're doing body weight, you're legitimately not stimulating the soleus enough at all. You're just not getting any gains. Just want you to know that. So body weight soleus like bent knee calf raises literally do nothing. I know everyone promotes it, but actually it's just a complete myth. I just want people to know that. Okay, I'm not showing the thing, right? Let's look at this. Table of contents, welcome page. Man, this is more lazy than me. Okay, I'm gonna read it out. Let's just look at day 1. I'm not showing this, right? Because that is like, I could like get in legal trouble for that. That's fucked up. All right, I'm reading the Jared guy. You guys saw the Jared guy? Did we see it? Hold on, let me make sure you guys see it. You know who I'm talking about? This guy. Everyone knows who I'm talking about. This person. Like, this is like a 10-inch. Oh my god, bro. It's like literally the worst exercises. Literally all my F tier exercises. You guys remember my F tier on the tier list? All my F tier exercises. All the ones on the F tier, he did in one video. Oh my god, I'm gonna fucking cry, bro. Okay. Oh, I just leaked that shit. Oh fuck, man. I be leaking shit, bro. Okay, let's read this. Okay. Dynamic warm-up. Oh my god, bro. Alright, week 1. Dynamic warm-up. And then it's a trap bar deadlift variation. I'm not gonna say the reps and sets because that's just stealing. A single leg jumps, banded step ups, and assisted pogos. Oh my god. Okay, I'm not gonna break down the whole program because I can get in trouble for this, but you never want to start an athletic workout with a strength movement. Okay, it should always be fastest velocity goes first, and then the slowest movements go last, right? So you would start off with like fastest velocity, a max effort sprint, a max effort jump, and you would end with a slow movement like an accessory lift. But in terms of strength movements, you want to start off with compound movements. So he's doing a contrast where he does a heavy, trap bar deadlift, right, and then a single leg jump. The reason why this is bad is because the force output in a single leg jump is half of what you would get in a 2-foot jump, usually around half, right? So the force output's so low and you're already fatigued from the trap bar deadlift that it's just a terrible pairing. You should have done a approach 2-foot jump, right? And then also it's 5-foot jump. It's 5 jumps each leg, which means especially after a trap bar deadlift, after like the second jump, the velocity is so slow and the contraction is so bad that it's just slow twitch fibers being developed. That's off rip. That's literally like the first exercise of the fucking thing. The next one is banded step ups, which is just a below average strength exercise, and then band assisted pogo jumps. We already talked about band assisted pogo jumps are like B tier because all they do is develop tendon tolerance in the Achilles, right? That's like the biggest thing. It might improve rate of force development, sort of. Like there's kind of like conflicting research, so it's just okay, right? It's like whatever. And then band and step ups, so it's another superset that's just like below average. It's just an average superset. It's not that good, but honestly, it's actually not even below average. It's ass because we're starting with strength. We're not starting with explosiveness, right? We're starting with strength movement versus our first exercise should have been the single leg jumps. I still think the single leg jumps are terrible, but we should have started with that, right? In terms of like principles of training, right? Here, I can actually see you guys while I'm breaking this down. I don't need to like just talk. Wait, where's you're a D1 leaker? Yeah, bro, I just be leaking shit, bro, on accident too. I'll just go over the second contrast and I'm done because this is just terrible. All right. B1 through B4, which is the second contrast, right, is a goblet deep squat with 3-second eccentric. It's not bad actually. And then pogo jumps with a box leap. What is he talking about?
Attention athletes, increase your
Oh my god, this is a TikTok video. It's a TikTok video.
Power, your speed, and your vertical agility.
Oh my, dude, this is so bad. Okay, he's starting off with a goblet squat, which I don't think is really that bad. You know, just eccentric loading to the quads. That's cool, whatever, right? But then it's hurdle hops, right? And I like hurdle hops, but it's one hurdle. He's just doing a single hurdle hop, and it's 3 sets. So that's maybe 3 to 6 hurdle jumps in total. That's ass. Dude, for enough of a stimulus, you need at least 4 sets of like 8 to get any type of stimulus for your explosiveness. It's just bad programming. I think, dude, and then dumbbell goblet squats. Dude, oh my god. Dumbbell goblet squats. Remember, dumbbell. You can only hold up to maybe 80 pounds in weight in a dumbbell. So if you're doing 3 sets of 5, if it's 3 sets of 5, that's a strength stimulus, which means you need a barbell or heavy goblets because you can't train close enough to failure. So there's no purpose. We're doing dumbbell goblet squats. You should be doing high reps. High reps. It should be high reps because the weight's too light. But if you could do a front squat, like a barbell front squat, then you could go low reps. But it's too light. You can't go heavy enough in a goblet squat. And people who are doing dumbbell goblet squats are doing them with 50 pounds. They're not doing them with 80. So you really should be going high rep, like 12 plus. And then on top of it, when I click it, it's a fucking TikTok video. Like, oh my god. Okay, whatever. And then pogo, like we said, then he does pretty much like a hurdle hop variation, but it's a one hurdle. And it's not enough reps for a good enough stimulus. And it's low intensity because the hurdle was short. Like, TikTok programs. Okay. Resisted baby pogo jumps to a squat jump. What?
Attention,
okay, resisted. Oh my god, it's a
that
TikTok video.
you'll get there.
Okay, he said resisted pogos, band around my waist, but he doesn't have a band around his waist. And then, so it's pogo jumps to a high squat jump, right? So like a max effort jump, right? Those are okay, but guess what? It's the 7th exercise in the program. It's not the first or second. It's a high intensity exercise, which it honestly is not that good because one, he didn't have resistance in the video, and he didn't show how to put on the resistance. And then it's low intensity to high intensity, so you're wasting reps, right? I'm kind of explaining it in a bad way because I can't really show it, or else it's DMCA. But think about you're doing a low intensity exercise to high intensity, so 50% of the exercise is slow twitch, and the other half is fast twitch. So guess what you just developed? Slow twitch fibers. Because the fast twitch is already fatigued from you doing the slow twitch exercise. So it's just a waste of time, bro. It's just back to this whole thing of just wasting time. And on top of it, it's the 7th exercise in the fucking program. The 7th exercise in the program. A high intensity exercise, it's supposed to be high intensity, and it's at the end of the workout. Remember what I said earlier. It should always go high intensity to low intensity. It should always be the hardest stuff at the first, the most intense stuff on the body at the very beginning, the first 4 exercises, and then low intensity stuff to develop like the small little athletic qualities, or else you are wasting time. Then heavy assisted poker jumps. We already talked about how assisted poker jumps are really not that good. Deloading your body weight is just putting less stress to the tendon, which you're just not making a good adaptation of the tendon. And then the rest is just core shit. That's just day one. And then they're all TikTok exercises. That shit's terrible. There you go. Jared Emanuel for you people, bro. People who have more followers than me on social media. Because they just spam shit that people want. And just sell out, honestly. He's honestly just selling out. It's a sellout. Don't care. Clip it. Someone send it. Or don't send it to him. But if you want to send it to him, he sees it. Don't care. You don't know what you're talking about. You know what you do. You literally know what you're doing. Don't care. If you see this somehow, you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you're ignorant. You need to learn more. You're uneducated on the topic. If you are between the ages of 15 and 40, you're not doing plyometrics, what are you doing with your life? Yeah, literally, that's literally his script, bro. He uses that script for every video. You're a D1 leaker. I wish I told you I wasn't lying. Paying for a TikTok video is a crazy scam. No, that's a scam. That's literally a scam. That's bad, bro. That's so bad. Yo, bro, check out the meal prep and nutrition stuff at the bottom of the PDF. Oh, I need to look at that. But I need to use the bathroom. Can I run to the bathroom real quick? Would y'all care? Let me just look at the nutrition real quick, and I'm gonna go run to the bathroom. There's a grocery list. That's about it. And there's something about meal prepping. Oh my god, it's an 8-week program. How much is this? Can someone tell me the price of this program? This is a $10 program. This is a freebie. This is something I would give as a freebie. I would give this for free to get more sales for your, like, you guys know the purpose of what a free program does, right? There's only 15 people in here. I'm like, if you give something for free, it's so you can make more money, so people can trust you more. This is not something you charge for. This is a freebie. It'd be okay if it was free, right? Like, can we agree? Like, that's okay if it's free. TikTok videos, like kind of lazy programming, it's okay if it's free. But anything above $10, this is bullshit. How much does anyone know the price? I'm not looking it up. What are the best gym workouts to get faster? Anything. I don't even feel like reading this shit anymore. Anything that is made by me. I need to go use this bathroom. I'm sorry. I have to go so bad, bro. I'll be back. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. My stomach hurts, bro. $39? Oh my god, that's a waste of money, bro. I will say I do charge more, but my shit's way better. For video, yeah, $40 for free videos online. Is it at least good scheduling of the workouts? I think all of it's trash. I think the ordering of the exercise, I think the exercise selection is bad. The ordering of the exercises is not free program is more successful than free. No, my free program is literally 20 times better. You can literally do my free program and get better gains than that shit. My free workout will get you better gains than that. FSU, please. Kadorius Tony Juke versus FSU, please. Yeah, I'll check it out. Check it out in a little bit. Would you rank weighted step-up jumps? Not in just explosiveness, but overall. I'll do overall soon. I think for overall, I don't know. I wouldn't really put that high either. Like weighted, for overall, it'd be like A tier or B tier. It just depends. It depends on like the goal, because like you're trying to build like extensibility in the tendon, which is really important. Like we talked about for approach jumps, it could be pretty good. It's 3 a.m. right now. Holy fuck. Who's the best skills coach in your opinion for basketball? I like DJ Sackman. I worked with DJ Sackman a little bit. We were gonna do some videos and stuff like that, but we just ended up not. He's a great guy. Worked with like some of his coaches and stuff. Worked in like some marketing things together. I like him a lot. PGF is great. Drew Hanlon's good. Drew Hanlon's good. I don't like his programs though. I won't lie. He'll never see this, so whatever. I'm not disrespecting him. I think he's really good at attention to detail. I don't like his programs. Like his programs kind of feel lazy to me for how much money he makes. I feel like it could be a lot more detailed. It's way too intense too. Like his shit's like through the roof in terms of intensity and just like breaking your body to the ground. Like you literally do it for like a week and you're done. Like, your whole body's just fucked. Are you familiar with Zero Bounce? Yeah. I have some opinions on Zero Bounce. It's really funny. I like Drew Hanlon. I like J Law. Oh my god, I love J Law. Devin the Lab. I got some stories about Devin the Lab. No one's gonna see this. Devin the Lab and I were actually gonna collab. Like I don't know. You guys know Devin the Lab, right? In R2 basketball, I was supposed to be on their app. I was supposed to have a vertical jump program on their app, but something happened while we were getting me on the app, and they just completely dropped me and picked up someone who was like terrible in my opinion. Like I think he's very below average, the person they picked up for their app. But like we were like literally on like FaceTime calls, like multiple FaceTime calls. Like one of the people I looked up to, like Devin the Lab, right, like physically called me and we were on FaceTime for like 2 hours type thing. And R2 Ball, like all of us were talking multiple days, and I was supposed to be on the app. They just dropped me for someone who I think is pretty fucking bad, but it is what it is, you know. They dropped me for like this, like something so small in my opinion. So interesting. It was a very unprofessional way to do it too. It was very unprofessional, but I still love them. They're great guys. I'll train with them one day and I'll tell them in person. Like once I see them for the first time in person, I'll be like, hey bro, like, you know I was supposed to work with you and you kind of did me dirty, but you know, it's cool. And they'll be like, oh my bad bro, my bad. Pierce Sweat's the best in my opinion. Yeah, I think he's really good. I think the program itself is kind of lazy, like the programs. I think there could be so much more attention to detail, but I think he's fucking a genius. He's probably is the best actually. Definitely, he has the most results. Phase 2 started yesterday for me. He trains Katie. No, yeah, he has the most results. He trains the best people. That's just a fact. But I just think his programs are kind of like is 13 meter good in triple jump? I'm not really sure. I would have to look it up. Have you checked out Zero Bounce personal coaching? The issue, my problem with him, he kind of reminds me of like a TikTok guy. Like he has great athleticism, but all his information is from other people, right? Like, I mean, obviously you have to learn information from other people, but it's very easy, especially with me. Like I study all the time. I watch all the top people and all their podcasts, all their videos. It's very easy to tell when someone's copying other people, right? Copying words from other people and just trying to sound smart. Like they haven't actually put the studying in. They didn't read the books that people read. They heard what the people said and just repeated it, right? They didn't drop me off for Christopher Spell. Is Christopher Spell, who's the guy who has like the #1 standing vertical jump in the world? They dropped me off for him, and I think that's just like, it was just fucking ridiculous to me. Yeah, so I think he's one of those people who like just listens for like keywords and he like just repeats keywords of what other people say, right? It's not like actually learning the information, and he gives off like a lot of advice and like sells programs, but he hasn't actually coached people. He just has heard other people say it, and he jumps high himself from 10 years of training, and he just like, here's my stuff, here's my paid stuff. It's the only thing. I don't think what he says is wrong. I think he just doesn't actually understand it at a fundamental level from listening to him, and he's still learning. Like, when people are still learning, I think it's okay to like not have to sell things, right? If you're still learning, you're not, I wouldn't say you have to be a master, but you don't really know your shit. I don't think you really should be selling shit. like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you don't really know your shit. You probably shouldn't be selling shit. You probably should be doing shit for free or cheap, right? Like, there was a time with me when I first started, I had $10 programs, and I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about, right? I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. There's a reason why I had $10 programs. How long ago did they drop you off? Whenever Christopher Spell got joined, whenever Christopher Spell joined is when they dropped me off. But we were like in the works, bro. Like, I was really talking to one of my idols. It looking kind of hurt. I'm not gonna lie. So I don't think he's bad. I just think he just copies other people. He doesn't actually know the shit, and that's kind of annoying. Like, people can get away with so much if they jump high. That's crazy, right? Like, me personally, I think I have a pretty good vertical jump, but like, I'm not an Isaiah Rivera. But does anyone know my past? I was a gamer, and I did long distance running. And like, my senior year, I decided to pick up sprinting. I think no one thinks that. They just look at what's in front of you, but they don't realize that I did long distance running pretty much all of high school, and then senior year I decided to sprint, and then 2 years later I was like, you know what? Actually, I just want to play basketball. Like, I was like 20, and now I'm 21. And then now I'm starting to decide to do my vertical jump. My vertical jump skyrockets, and I have a pretty good vertical jump. Like, I made a huge transformation in a year, but because I'm not Isaiah Rivera with a 50-plus inch vertical jump doing 360 windmills because he was dunking for over 10 years straight, and I decided to dunk a year ago, it's just like, oh, like, you're just not him. But people can be, like, you'd be surprised. A lot of these top dunkers, I won't lie to you, the top 10 dunkers in the world right now that aren't in the NBA, and even the NBA players, a lot of them don't know shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. If you really listen to how people explain themselves and what they're saying, they really don't know shit. It's just they just dunked for a very long time. It is very easy to dunk. You just dunk and keep dunking for years and years and years, and you will get there. You will get to a 50-plus inch. It has nothing to do with genetics. Genetics help, but it's not what you think. It's not this perfect training. It's just dunking. I'm ranting right now. But they get away with a lot. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, motherfuckers can know very little and get away with a lot. Get away with a lot. Say a lot of rah-rah. And people just like, oh, but you dunk high. So, like, you jump high. So, that's, yeah, perfect. Right? That makes sense. I wish you had you on the app. Yeah, if that was on the app, bro, we would have made fucking, bro. Oh, my God. I would have just changed the game. But I feel like it would have hurt me financially. So, looking back at it, like, at the time when I was going to join, I didn't have a lot of money. Like, I wasn't making a lot of money. So I was kind of like, oh, this is like, I just started making money. So it was like, oh, this could be a good opportunity. This could kind of give me that extra cushion. And I was scared. I was scared I wasn't going to be able to do it by myself. So I was like, yeah, of course. Like, I'll get a little bit extra money. It would be helpful. And then looking back at it, like, it probably would have hurt how much money I make now. Because I make a real full-time living. But at the time, I was just like, I need it. Like, this is going to be like the extra cushion I need. Like, I don't know if this is going to stay. And I didn't need it. Like, looking back at it, I didn't need it. So I'm kind of glad I didn't get on it, but it did kind of bother me at first. Can you get a 40-inch vertical jump without good genetics? Yeah. Genetics is really just height. People really just be overdoing it. Genetics is mainly height. I broke it down in another, what was I just talking about? Oh, genetics. I broke it down in another, live stream, but it's mainly height. What happened with you and Fast You? I don't want to talk about it, bro. That shit bothers me to this day, bro. I don't even know. I don't know what happened. It's a great question, though. It's 1 p.m. right now. It's 3:50 a.m. for me right now. What do you think about jumping through knee pain? I wouldn't jump through knee pain. Is trying to touch high things one of the best vertical jump exercises? It's definitely one of the best. It's top 2. Do you study basketball skills training much? Yeah, I do. I study a lot. I wouldn't call myself an expert. That's why I don't make videos on it. If I'm not an expert, if I don't really know my shit, I'm not going to make videos about it. But I do study it. I feel like I know a decent amount. But I'm definitely not to the level where I'd make content or I try to coach somebody or sell a program or anything. But that's the thing. People would somewhat study it. I study basketball skills training. People would somewhat study it, and then they'll be like, "Oh, here's my program for $100 or $50, or here's my personalized training." But they somewhat studied it. They didn't study it for 5 years, tried it out on 50 free people, and put their 10K hours in and actually practice it, then sell a program. They just do it with barely knowing anything. That's 90% of people on TikTok. It's so bad. Should I? You should. I would, but I would buy your skills program. I think I've had a pretty decent one. What do you think about Tim Grover? I think Tim Grover is very overrated. It's very outdated information, but just because he trained Michael Jordan, it's just like, yeah, he knows what he's talking about. It's so bad, bro. It's so outdated, bro. People just don't care. It's like, he's Michael Jordan's trainer, though. Like, that's what... Like, Michael Jordan was already crazy athletic before fucking college. Before he even made it to college, he was crazy athletic. Tim Grover is not the reason he was the best fucking player of all time, I promise. Tim Grover didn't even start working with him until, like, what? Until his, like, first three-peat, right? And Michael Jordan was averaging, like, 30 as a freshman. He didn't have Tim Grover as a freshman or as a rookie, you know? I'm just hating, though. It's late. I'm hating. Some good old negativity today. Fuck. I am tired. I still have to take a shower. What do you study? Are you at university? No. This is my full-time job. Training people is my full-time job. I don't go to college. I went to college for a year and I dropped out because I hated the way they taught me. But how I studied, I started training when I was 16. So had a couple years in the game. I worked with 2 Olympian coaches, and then I also worked with an NFL speed trainer. He gave me all his information, like years worth of notes. He's like, here's all my notes and all my books. Train it, and then he also mentored me for a year, and I also paid for a bunch of consultations with Olympic track coach. He taught me a bunch about programming and how to actually do it well. And then I worked with another Olympian coach. He's a little bit more into swimming, but he also did track and basketball. He taught me a lot about programming. Then I worked with the #1 coach in Illinois. He taught me a lot about track. I paid a lot of money for all these people. Then I also just studied my ass off. Studied my ass off for like 3 years. Easily put in, I think we calculated it my last year. I put in like over 16K hours in studying. I got a lot of results too. Like, I actually trained people and just got results. But college, definitely, like, I went to college for a year and it was easily the biggest waste of my time. Like, I learned the least in college. Of all the studying methods, all the people, all the Olympic coaches and NFL trainers who taught me shit, college was the worst return on my investment. It was like the biggest amount of money I wasted. Complete garbage. And I went to Iowa State. I didn't go to some shitty ass like fucking community college or something, right? I'm not saying community college is shitty. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, I didn't go to some like low college. I went to Iowa State. Yeah, most of these coaches don't make players more athletic. They're just making them healthier. Yeah, but that's also like smart. Like, does James Harden need to be getting more athletic? You know, he needs to stay healthy. His skill's so high. You know, he doesn't need to be dunking out the gym or something. What parts of Tim Grover coaching do you not like? All of it. W hating? No, I'm on some hating shit today. I won't lie. I just don't like any of it. All of it was rah-rah. He was part of the whole like grind hard mentality, which I think is bullshit. Grind your ass off until your legs hurt. He did a bunch of shitty things that probably ruined Michael Jordan's jump. It didn't ruin it, but it definitely hurt his jump shot. The type of exercise selection he was picking. He was all about strength training, but did not give a fuck about plyometrics. So much bad shit. Like, just nothing was good. Like, I guess he had good mentality training. Like, he had a good mental game, I guess. He had good, like, mental philosophy, but it still was kind of, like, outdated and just old school shit. Is boxing good way of conditioning? It just depends on the sport. Not bad, though, I guess. But what would you train, like, for, like, track in high school? I did a lot of long distance, so I ran a lot of, like, miles and shit like that. And then when I did sprint training, I don't think my coach is that good. So it was just kind of like, sprint training was like kind of shitty, you know. Terrible strength training. The strength training is literally what got me injured every single year. Thoughts on deep game basketball? They're just okay. When they had Pure Sweat, when they had like Drew Hanlon as the main coach, they were good. But then he left, or he just doesn't work with them anymore. Boxing is a good way of conditioning for boxing. It's not going to help you on like the court and field. Yeah, that's facts. Thoughts on? Oh wait, Well, here in Germany, if you end up on the podium at nationals, you do a doping test where you got to piss in a bucket in front of someone, even if you're just 15 years old. Do you think it's okay? I understand like it's bad because it's children, but you also have to look at it as like it's not. If you have to piss in a bucket in front of someone, even though you're 15, like technically, like yeah, it's predatory, but it's also like the person who has to watch that is not looking at them objectively. It's like a doctor. Like when you have to get your balls checked out at a doctor and you're 12 years old, like is the doctor like a predator? Is he like what's the word that people call like people who like little kids? Are they predators? You know what I'm saying? Like no, they're not predators. They're just doing something objectively. Like they have to look at your balls and check them to make sure you're clean. So that's all the person's doing at the Olympics or whatever. Like when they're winning a Germany nationals, they win nationals. Like they're just looking at their piss or looking at them pee objectively. Like is this tested positive for steroids or not? It's not like, oh, I'm looking at your dick and I'm into it or some shit like that. So I think it's the same thing as like a doctor. It's like whatever, you know. If the doctor's a predatory, then yeah, he needs to go. Like whoever's doing it needs to be checked. But if they have like a past history, they need to get checked and get fired. But if they don't, it's just their job. There's a theory that Michael Jordan had jumper's knee. He definitely had jumper's knee. He had like multiple stories about it. Boxing for basketball conditioning, I wouldn't do it. I just pass. Thoughts on Preston Wilson, Akada Fitness? I don't know what that is. Have you watched Movement System? If so, let me know. I think they're okay. I think he's okay. I think it's just pretty basic. It's not really like, it's just whatever. Like, I don't have anything to say. I will say he's really big on strength movements, and I think strength is important. Like I have strength in all my programs, but I think plyometrics need to be talked about way more in all social medias. And actual like principles, not just like do these 3 plyometric exercises to jump out here and run faster. Like you need to like be taught correctly. You need to understand plyometrics, not just random exercises. How do I gain functional strength? What is functional strength? What does that even mean? You've been live for 4 hours. You got to rest. It's a PR, bro. I'm burnt. I might take my ass to bed. I'm hurt. I'm hurting, bro. I'm gonna wake up at like fucking 2 p.m. tomorrow. Creatine for teenagers, fine. I'm pretty sure it's fine. I haven't really looked at research for like younger people, but you don't really need it. Like if you're trying to get it to get some extra gains, I promise you, like you don't need it. Like it's a great fucking supplement. It's amazing. It's just it's like, you know, like do you need it? No, you need to eat well. You need to eat like a normal human. Eat like a healthy human, you know? I'm not sleeping. I promise. Get ready for a stream tomorrow? Yeah, I should. I can take a couple more questions. No, I'll probably dip. I need to take a shower because I just came back from the movies. Where can I find a plyometric fundamentals beyond just exercise? I agree with the overall process is underrated. And training, it's doing your brain so helpful. Just like if you want to like learn about just more fundamentals, like I teach fundamentals. I think I'm like one of the only people who actually teaches fundamentals on my social media. My YouTube is really good. Like I think my YouTube's content is amazing. I think I can I don't have the team to make it more entertaining. You know, like do stuff in public and all that type of things and teach it in like more extravagant ways through editing because I just don't have the I don't know, I don't pay my editor $400 for a video, but I think it's definitely I think it's still just good content, you know, just great information. If I could pay my editor $400 per video, then I could have some crazy ass editings and crazy ass sketches for all my shit. It'd just be way more appealing to watch, but I just don't think it's necessary. So you want to learn a lot about fundamentals and exercises. I give applicable shit. I don't just talk in theory. Just because I teach fundamentals doesn't mean I just talk in theory and I'm completely you can't understand me. I still give exercises and examples and shit like that. So you can just watch my YouTube all day. What's more important for basketball, speed or speed? Vertical jumps is really overrated. Steph Curry is a perfect example. Trae Young. Those are always going to be the most effective people. LeBron James isn't LeBron because he could dunk. It's because of everything else. Like Duncan's cute that you can dunk on a fast break, but it's everything else. He can finish. It's not that he can jump high. It's the fact that he can finish. You know. Is the tier list gonna get posted? Yeah. I'll post it on my community board actually, real quick. Let's do that real quick. Okay, let's look at this. Community board. Shift Command 3. All right. How do you post your community board? I'll create a post. Made an exercise. Oh my god. Actually, I'm gonna capitalize it. Exercise tier list for raw explosiveness on stream today. Where are we at? Select from computer. Get off my meat. Date added. Oh no, it'd be my recents. Let's see it. It's not gonna load? Are you trolling right now? Select the image up to 60 megabytes. What's wrong with the image? What do you mean? What are you talking about? It's a date created, bro. Oh, shit. Date created. What's wrong with it? Okay. They're just gonna you gotta make this difficult, huh? I have to screenshot my phone and do it. That's fine. Like, if I had average speed and vert and speed, which one should I focus on first? You should be training both at the same time, honestly. Like, there's no reason to do one or the other. How to improve lateral explosiveness? It's a complicated subject. Obviously, like, the first thing I said was, like, lateral plyometrics. But it's honestly, like, low-key, a lot deeper than that. How can I download this? Oh, save it download. What the fuck? Exercise tier. Oh my god. Tier list for raw explosiveness. This is only factoring raw explosiveness, not overall athleticism or strength. I can break it down more, but I don't care. Oh no, download image. Bruh. Don't tell me I have to remake this. I mean, obviously I don't have to remake it, but download image. Download. There we go. Booper. Now we're talking. Okay, here's a screenshot. If you guys want to go to my community post and check out the screenshot, it's posted right now. I don't really care. Let me just add an extra comment. No, not behind the scenes photo. Just a comment, bro. Okay. 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 I'm actually starting to burn out. Okay. Wait, should I do the vert and speed work at the same time? No. Just like, no. Just do one. Like both, all my programs are always gonna improve speed and vertical jump. It's honestly hard to improve either one without improving both at the same time. If you are only improving one at the same time, you're probably not trained correctly. Have you ever tried currywurst or bratwurst? I've tried bratwurst. I don't know what currywurst is. Okay. I'm getting hit, bro. I won't lie. I just saw myself just slap this shit on myself. Okay. When's the app gonna come out? The app is coming out next week in 5 days. Or it has to get approved in app by Apple, and Apple's gonna take 5 to 7 business days. The second it gets improved, everyone's getting an email with the site, the login to the app. Most underrated strength coach? Myself. Have a great day, everybody. Let me start the outro music, because I'm actually I'm burning the fuck out. All right, people. Oh shit. Have a great fucking day, man. I appreciate you guys for sticking it out with me. I love all you guys. You guys are a family to me. You guys gave me a great life. This is a great time hanging out with people, even if it's 10, 5, 20, 100. I'm always going to remember all these days. Have a great night. I'm going to take my ass to bed because it's 4 a.m. currently right now, and I'm wilding. I'm probably going to get a noise complaint tomorrow. So I appreciate and love y'all, man, and have a good night, man.